once I went through the rigmarole, right? Everything is in the balance, right? I was to that Kevin Gates, the balance, right? He said in the balance, right? He was talking about what was it called? That song called Fatal Attraction. And something that stood out to me, he said the balance, right? I was talking about that in my last video about the balance, right? He says about the balance, right? And it stuck with me, that word, just a single word stuck with me, balance, right? In the balance, right? Okay, you had to go through this phase, that phase, this phase, right? And now I'm going to bring you to the balance of it, right? And so in the balance of it, you got to learn how to weigh the heavy part and the light part, right? And God was showing me, they always been doing it. Some of the things I showed you, some of the things I did not show you. These people, when they are running out of time, right? When they are running out of space, when the game is over, right? When they're tricks and the part of tricks is no trick and no trick and the trick no good, right? They come straight out and start showing you, yeah, we here, yeah, we've been watching, yeah. That's they balance in that, right? We're going to, I'll show you, we're going to take over your phone, we're going to control your car, we're going to control your TV. I mean, but you did all that, right? But by the time it had got to that, God would have prepped you. But is you paying attention? Do you see now, right? And when I seen that dog try to do everything, some of the things God did not show us, but they are so desperate now that they just showing us stuff, right? Sneaking in the back door. That's what you call sneaking in the back door. Going in the spirit, sneaking in the back door, unleashing things to you, like trying to overstimulate you. That's like an overstimulating tactic, right? Because if they doing all these things, right? The people around you, people on these platforms, or wherever else, family, friends, ex-lovers, whatever, doing all these things, right? And you see them all playing on your top and everybody working in tandem, and they say, this week we gonna stage all these things, and then say something wrong with their mind, right? We gonna all say something about their mind, but they leaving the children in the house with you, but it's your mind, right? But y'all, these people crazy, double-edged sword, trying to tell you about that double-edged sword. And so they say, well, I'm gonna say something wrong with their mind, right? And then that person gonna say something wrong with their mind, and then that person, but we gonna all do it this way and this way, then we gonna start doing all these things, right? And set up all these plots and plans, right? When they get to the end of it, right? When a lot of these people have been caught in a trap, and they start getting desperate, right? Desperado. Sitting on the, oh, Manacala, hey, it's that girl, that's Riri, Desperado, hey. Sitting up there trying to play on your top, right? Jealousy and envy is a bad mother. Shut your mouth. And everybody sitting there, right? God showed me a smirk in the spirit, right? These people sitting there with them smirks on their face, thinking they smirking in the fifth grader, and they came up with these elaborate plans and schemes on how they was gonna do it, right? I should think a baby do it. Oh, we on the platform, so we want this position, right? We all vying for a spot in the position, and so we gonna go hook up with these people over here that we don't know, because they trying to do this, they trying to do that. So I'm trying to tell y'all something. But it was something about the intimate act with the Most High God, and everybody hacking into your stuff, thinking they gonna get a piece, and everybody putting a piece up on your shit. It's gonna make you scared to speak. Bitch, I'm not scared to speak about nothing. Oh, they stealing parts of our work. They stealing because we posted it before them. Meanwhile, they've been in your phone days before, right? Hacking your stuff, and you got 5, 10 different people coming together on a platform. Say, I'm gonna take this, and you take that, and you take this, and we gonna say that she's stealing from all of us in tandem, right? You can see who all working together on the thing, right? But they never expect for the person in the back to catch on to what it is that they have been doing, right? To see. But like I always tell y'all, and I'm ending with this. My granddad always told me, move before you go into a space and a place, and this is in all things and everything and stuff, right? Before you go into a space, it's already a problem, right? You just new to it. And so when you come in, don't never be scared to speak up for yourself. You sit back, you watch, you don't just blurt out anything, but don't never be scared to speak up for yourself or what the hell going on, because people like that is already a problem. They've done it time and time like this, have done the same thing over and over again, right? They already did these things before you got there, right? And it might have worked with those other people. It might have worked with them other people. Oh, we gonna hack into their phone, and we gonna see what they working on. We gonna hook up with whoever they in the house with, right? Because they jealous of them too. They family jealous of them too. And we gonna hack into their stuff, and we gonna take parts of their work and implement it into our work. And we gonna say they copying, they going over different platforms instead of they working, and we gonna all come and holler the same thing. Because they did it to me too. Because they did it to me too. Because they did it to me too. Me too. Oh, me too ass movement, right? Meanwhile, they don't know that the person that they want to run to got discernment, and God already tapped them on the shoulder about this already, right? Who can I run to, right? To share this empty place, who can I run to, right? Every time you get on your stuff and start speaking, all of a sudden it's 12 o'clock. All of a sudden, the same person that they linking up with, calling your phone, oh, what you doing? Oh, what you doing? And me too ass movement. Oh, what you doing, right? There's no coincidence, right? That all of a sudden, an individual call you as soon as you start talking, as soon as you start rapping, as soon as you start chopping up, right? As soon as you start your videos, this individual start calling. No, everybody is trying to gain something off the back of somebody else, and everybody hiding in the back of somebody else, right? Oh, I want this, and so I'm going to hide in the back of what they doing, and they over there already doing this, and I'm going to hide in the back of that, and that person over there doing this, and that person doing that. Oh, give us a little information. But meanwhile, they don't know that they have all been gathered for such a time. What do you say? It's times like this. I ride like this. Hey, that was that Meek. What? They didn't know, right? 333 style. Yesterday I seen 333. Last night I seen 333. And 333, when I cracked open the word, right? Once I finally went to the word, I stopped doing the look up for the angel numbers, and I finally went to the word, right? And I said, what is this? 333. When I turned it on 333, right? Just so happened, I literally said, God, give me a word, any word, the word you want me to have. And I opened up the Bible, but I didn't notice the numbers, right? I wasn't paying attention to the numbers. I just was reading a story, and it was a story about the girl who got put up, Esther, the girl who got put up, right? And she got put up for a time such as this, right? For a time such as the area that she was in, right? She got put up for a time, right? Until it came a time, and she had to be used for the space in between spaces and to free the people, right? And to stop her people, the slaughter of her people, right? She got put up, right? But the main thing that got stuck out to me out of her whole story, right? A lot of, you read the whole full story, but the main thing was that she had got put up until it was put up until the time that she was needed, right? Never knowing that she was about to be doing what she needed to do, right? Never knowing that she was going to be sitting in that space, in that position. She never knew that she was going to be there. But it just so happened that she got put up in that thing, and she was able to work the kinks out, right? And the same person that was doing the tricks for the trade, wanted to split position, jealous of another man, right? Jealous of this and that, trying to rule some stuff, trying to get innocent people slaughtered, right? Whisper, he's like Satan. That one that's always whispering in the ear when the person say, I'm going to do some good, and that person say, no, but we should do some bad, right? Manipulating their position, right? And corrupting the spot that shouldn't even be able to be corrupted. It's like, how do you corrupt this? How do you take this and twist this, right? You should be scared to twist it. But see, comfortability is a motherfucker, right? When you get comfortable doing something for a time, right? And get innocent people attacked and taken off, right? And you going in the back laughing how you manipulating that person to do those things. Oh, that person the problem. Oh, that yes, she did take that person work because they said this on their work, but they not telling them that they helping that person hack into that person's phone and using the person that they sit next to in their home to hack into their stuff. And the little girl said, I seen that person take your phone and your tablet and slide up under their shirt when you were sleeping. And then all of a sudden you leave that day and your phone ringing off like an alarm system, like it's hooked up to the government government access point. Y'all, I left out the house. I was going for a couple hours. My phone. This is a new phone. This phone. Don't nobody got this number except for one person. They got it that day where I left to. And when I was sitting there talking to this individual, my phone started ringing like some type of alarm system. But I already kept telling this person the weird stuff. I was sitting there telling the person the weird stuff around, right? And the person said, oh, maybe it's just you. I just never seen like this. Maybe you should call this person in your family and reach out to them, right? This slick ass shit. And I said, call that. Why don't you reach out to that person? What you talking about? I'll talk to that person. Maybe you should call this person and that person, this person, that person. Maybe you should call them and reach out to them. This is the person that I cut off for a reason, right? And they know that. But see, everybody trying to use somebody else to stay attached, but nobody could be attached, right? When I tell you that some of y'all energy is feeding the nation, y'all don't even understand who the fuck some of y'all are. Some of y'all are feeding a whole nation. Some of y'all are been feeding your whole bloodline, right? The whole family. Y'all, some of y'all, they thought they was gonna sit up and eat and sacrifice you, right? To they false deities and they false gods and thought they was gonna sit up in your face and play with you, right? And God said, hey, don't do that here, right? You did it to that person and that person and that person. You might have won those ones, right? But this one, I got something for you. It's always, you always put up for a time, and some of y'all got multiple missions, right? You ain't just got one, you got triple fold things to do. I want to go back to the story of Esther when I was looking at that and I finally looked up, I kept seeing 333. And this particular day, y'all, this was over a year that I kept getting to the story of Esther, right? Even had popped up on my phone one day I was at work and her story I was just listening to, we was allowed to have our speaker. And whatever came play next, a lot of times I was listening to it. But it was so out of sync because I was listening to music and the story of Esther popped up. Now this is not something that I was looking up. A lot of times, whatever's in your algorithm is what play. But I was listening to a whole music list, right? And the story of Esther popped up on my phone and I just let it play. I just turned it down a little bit and I let it play. And so I had my speaker up like booming. I'm like, they probably want to hear this. It's crazy, right? They probably turn around like, what is she over here listening to, right? Because it just sounds like it's a guy that speaks. He's like, and Esther went over there. Like, he's over exaggerated, right? But it's I like his voice. But anyways, y'all, so I turned it down a little bit and I put my speaker close to me and I'm listening, right? And everything ain't for everybody, that's another thing. And so I'm listening, and later on, y'all, was months, right? Probably even a full year that I was sitting at home and that's when I placed my hand on the Bible. I was going through something. I said, God, give me any word you want me to have, right? And I turned it and I flipped the page open to Esther. And so I said, let me read her actual story. I read the story, and I went and looked up her story and listened to the story, right? That's me. And so, y'all, when I opened up that Bible this particular day, I was already seeing 333 throughout the whole year, right? Until I got to this. But I couldn't figure out what God was showing me. I'm like, what is this, right? And so, one day, right, I wasn't always fully, this was around the time God began to give me numbers and all this stuff, right? And I told you my first set of numbers was 444. And so now everybody's saying, oh, this is this, right? They put their family members on. Oh, do this, put your name as this in the 444 right, the right? All these fucking sellouts, right? And I just was like, some of the people that I found out were sellouts, it just blew me, right? There's people from all the way across, right? That's connected to this, connected to that. I'm like, Jesus Christ, right? How low do they go? How long, right? They go out for miles, right? But if it take all them motherfuckers, a little BOU, they crossing state lines, border lines, rivers, waters, and oceans to get to some of y'all. I will cross the ocean for you. I will come and bring you the moon. I will be your hero, your strength, anything you need. Hey, that's my song right there. Anyways, all these people crossing the whole ocean to get to some of y'all. And when I found out, right, I see this damn thing is exposed again after I covered it up. And I said, why is this right? Oh, that must have fell down. I said, I guess if that's what you're telling yourself and them and everything and stuff, because I'm blessed anyway, so do what y'all do, but watch my shoes, period. Right, and I looked down this particular day, right, on this particular, y'all, let me keep going. So, when I look at the book, right, and I'm reading over it, I'm just like, God, I'm just not understanding what you're trying to tell me. Okay, Esther was put up for a time, right, and you telling me a story, and I'm reading the story, and I'm looking at it in and out, right, and I'm flipping this Bible in this passage inside out, right, and I'm not understanding. And I finally look up, right, and I see the number on there, and it says 333, y'all. I was tripping out, y'all. It was so bad that I had to put the book down and walk away and come back and make sure I was seeing the numbers correctly, right, because it tripped me out, and I'm like, oh my God, right. What is this, God? What are you trying to show me? But now I understand, right? Some of you guys 909 for 808, 909 404, y'all 707, right? And then I seen 7777. I seen 777. Then I seen 111, and then I seen 7777, right? I said it's about to go down. It's about to go down. y'all not even joking, right? Some of these people think they're gonna bully us. You ain't gonna bully nothing. Girl, you need to go get your shit together. Get your shit together, right? You need to go get your mind right. You need to go, I'm not them, man. I'm not them people that you bully. I'm not hurt, right? You got the right money figure. They bully you bad enough, right? If they scare you bad enough, you gonna shut up. Oh, they all after me. They coming. Oh my God, they're everywhere. They're like roaches, Lord. Oh my God. But you know what you do with a roach? See, back in the house. Back in the days, my friend used to bind the whole house. Ezekiel. 777 is Ezekiel. Y'all cannot make this up. I just turned to 777 in the Bible. Just let me go see real quick as I'm talking, right? 777 is Ezekiel. I cannot make this up. Surge of Jerusalem, symbolized. And it says God's razor of judgment. Y'all, I cannot make this up. As I'm talking to y'all, it says, now son of man, take a sharp sword and use it as a barber's razor to shave your head and your beard. Then take a set of scales and divide up the hair. When the day of your siege come and end, burn a third of the hair inside the city. Take a third and strike it with the sword all around the city, and scatter a third up to the wind. For I will pursue them with drawn swords, but take a few hairs and tuck them away in your fold of your garden. Again, take a few of these and throw them into the fire and burn them up. A fire will spread from there to all Israel. This is what the sovereign Lord says. This is Jerusalem, which I have set in the center of the nation. It's 12:33 on the clock. Let me keep going. It says, I have set in the center of the nation with countries all around her. Yet in her wickedness, she has rebelled against the laws and decreed more than the nation. And more than the nations and the countries around her. She has rejected my law and has not followed my decree. Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says. You have been more unruly than the nations around you and have not followed my decrees or kept my laws. You have not even conformed to the standards of the nations around you. Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says. I myself am against you, Jerusalem, and I will inflict punishment on you in the sight of the nations because of all your detestable idols. Y'all cannot make this up. I cannot make this up. It says, I will do to you what I have never done before, and I will do it. Wait. I have never done before and will never do again. Therefore, in your midst, parents will eat their children, and children will eat their parents. I will inflict punishment on you, and will scatter all your survivors to the wind. Therefore, as surely as I live, declares the sovereign Lord, because you have defiled my sanctuary with your vile images and detestable practices, I myself will shave you. I will not look on you with pity or spare you. A third of your people will die of the plague or perish by famine inside you. A third will fall by the sword outside your walls, and a third I will scatter to the wind and pursue with drawn swords. Then my anger will cease, and my wrath against them will subside, and I will be avenged. And when I have spent my wrath on them, they will know that I, the Lord, have spoken in my zeal. I will make you a ruin and a reproach among the nations around you, in the sight of all who passes by, who will be a reproach and a wait. Hold on, I can't see all y'all because these words are so small. I will make you a ruin and a reproach among y'all. Just said a roach. Hold on. I will make you a ruin and a reproach among the nations around you. In the sight of all who passes by, you will be a reproach and a taunt, a warning and a object of horror to the nations around you when I inflict punishment on you in anger and in wrath and with. Let's keep rolling, y'all. It says, I, the Lord, have spoken. When I shoot at you with my deadly and destructive arrows of famine, I will shoot to destroy you. I will bring more and more famine upon you and cut off your supply of food. I will send famine and wild beasts against you. And when I leave you childish, plague and bloodshed will sweep through you, and I will bring the sword against you. I, the Lord, have spoken. It says, doom for the mountain of Israel. The word of the Lord came to me. Son of man, set your face against the mountains of Israel, prophecy against them, and say, you mountains of Israel, hear the word of the sovereign Lord. This is what the sovereign Lord says to the mountains and hills, to the ravines and to the ravines and valleys. I am about to bring a sword against you, and I will destroy your high places. Your altars will be demolished, and your incense altars will be smashed, and I will slay your people in front of your idols. I will lay the dead bodies of Israel in front of your idols, and I will scatter your bones around your altars. Whenever you live, the town will be laid waste, and the high places demolished, so that your altars will be laid waste and devastated. Your idols smashed and ruined. Your incense altar broken down, and what you have made wiped out. Your people will fall slain among you, and you will know that I am the Lord. But I will spare some, for some of you will escape the sword when you are scattered among the land and nations. Then in the nations where they have been carried captive, those who escape will remember me, how I have been grieved by their adulterous hearts, which have turned away from me, and by their eyes which have lusted after their idols. They will loathe themselves for the evil they have done and for their detestable practices. And it says, and they will know that I am the Lord. I do not threaten in vain to bring this calamity on them. This is what the sovereign Lord says. Strike your hands together and stump your feet and cry out, Allahs, because of all the wicked and the detestable practices of the people of Israel, for they will fall by the sword, famine, and plague. One who is far away will die of plague, and one who is near will fall by the sword. And anyone who survives and is spread will die of famine. So will I pour out my wrath on them, and they will know that I am the Lord. I've been seeing this all day. I went outside for a little bit of time, and this is what God gave me. I seen 777, and then another car the truck pulled up, and it was 77, and then the other one was 77. And I said, what is this, right? And as I'm talking to y'all, I just make me remember that I seen this, right? And I turned, and I had no idea, y'all. I cannot make this stuff up. Wait a minute. All right, it says, then you will know, and they will know that I am the Lord, and their people will lie slain among their idols around their altars on every high hill and all the mountains, under every spreading tree and every leafy oak place where they offer fragment incense to all their idols. And I will stretch out my hand against them and make the land a desolate waste from desert to the blah. I don't know how to pronounce that, y'all. Wherever they lie, then they will know that I am the Lord. And then it says, the end has come. It says, the word of the Lord came to me. Son of man, this is what the sovereign Lord says to the land of Israel. The end has come upon the four corners of the land. The end is now among you. And I will unleash my anger against you. I will judge you according to your conduct and repay you for all your detestable practices. I will not look on you with pity. I will not spare you. I will surely repay you for your conduct and for the detestable practices among you. Then you will know that I am the Lord. This is what the sovereign Lord says. Disaster, unheard of disaster. See, it comes. The end has come. The end has come. It has roused itself against you. See, it comes. See, it comes. Doom has come upon you who dwell in the land. The time has come. The day is near. There is panic, not joy, on the mountains. I am about to pour out my wrath on you and spend my anger against you. I will judge you according to your conduct and repay you for your detestable practices. I will not look on you with pity. I will not spare you. I will repay you for your conduct and for your detestable practices among you. Then you will know that it is I, the Lord, who strikes you. See the day, see it comes. Doom has burst forth. The rod has budded. Arrogance has bloomed. Violence has arisen. A rod punished the wicked. None of the people will be left. None of that crowd, none of that wealth, nothing of value. The time has come. The day has arrived. Let not one buyer rejoice, nor the seller grieve. For my wrath is on the whole crowd. The seller will not recover the property that was sold, as both buyer and seller live. For the vision concerning the whole crowd will not be revised. Because of their sin, not one of them will preserve their life. They have blown the trumpet. They have made all things ready, but no one will go into battle. For my wrath is on the whole crowd. Outside is the sword. Inside are plague and famine. Those in the country will die by the sword. Those in the city will be devoured by famine and plague. The fugitives who escape will flee to the mountains like doves of the valley. They will all moan, each for their own sins. Every hand will go limp. Every leg will be wet with urine. They will put on sackcloth and be clothed with terror. Every face will be covered with shame, and every head will be shaved. They will throw their silver into the streets, and their gold will be treated as things unclean. The silver and gold will not be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath. It will not satisfy their hunger or fill their stomachs, for it has caused them to stumble into sin. That they took pride in their beautiful jewelry and used it to make detestable idols. They made it into vile images. Therefore, I will make it a thing unclean for them. I will give their wealth as plunder to foreigners and as loot to the wicked of the earth who will defile it. I will turn my face away from the people, and robbers will desecrate the place. I will turn my face away from the people, and robbers will desecrate the place I treasure. They will enter it and will defile it. Prepare change, for the land is full of bloodshed, and the city is full of violence. I will bring more. Get out here. Sit down. I will bring the most wicked of nations to take possession of their houses. I will put an end to the pride of the mighty, and their sanctuaries will be desecrated. When terror comes, they will seek peace in vain. Calamity upon calamity will come, and rumor upon rumor. They will go searching for a vision from the prophet. That's crazy. That part again. It says they will go searching for a vision from the prophet. Oh, I'm shaking. Precisely instruction in the law will cease. The counsel of the elders will come to an end. The king will mourn. The prince will be clothed with despair. In the hand of the people of the land will tremble. Oh, in the hands of the people of the land will tremble. I will deal with them according to their conduct, and by their own standards I will judge them. Then you got idolatry in the temple, judgment on the idolaters, and God's glory depart from the temple. God's sure judgment on Jerusalem. The promise of Israel return. The exile symbolized. It says false prophets. It says, but there will be no delay. False prophets condemned. Idolaters condemned. Jerusalem judgment inescapable. Jerusalem as a useless vain. Jerusalem as an adulterous wife. 2 eagles and a vine. The one who sins will die. The lame. God keep bringing me back to Ezekiel, y'all. We'll put that down. That just threw me off. Right? I wasn't ready for that. I forgot what I was talking about. Y'all, I told y'all in my last video, right? About these people, right? Who is up on these platforms bullying God's people. Y'all, this stuff is not a joke. This stuff is not a joke. How many people fail that were trying to do something that God called them to do, right? When I was looking at the book, God took me to the book of Revelations recently. And when I was looking inside the book of Revelations, it was saying that he was going to take the beast and flaunt her around, right? And he was somehow going to have pearls on and all this stuff, right? How he was going to slay the beast. But the thing that stood out to me is when he said that how this beast killed his prophets, how many of his prophets died. How many prophets lost their lives on this beast, right? About this world, right? And how people get about their seed to come and mess with us, our money, our lives, right? Playing with God's people, right? You somebody. I want you to tell somebody. I don't need to tell you this, right? No matter what it is that you went through, right? Some of y'all try to start something, people jump in your way and say, hey, look over here. And they hack into your phones and they did all this crooked stuff, right? They did all this nasty stuff to you. If you weren't nobody, ain't nobody coming about their seat for it. Ain't nobody getting about their seat for nobody. And so with some people out here who try to start something, right? And you've been blocked off and you've been trailed and you've been came after, right? And they send people from all over the place to come after you and come turn at you, come mess with you and hack into your stuff so you can't get your word out, right? They figure that if they can manipulate how it gets out, then it would stop what it is that's coming, right? And just because they manipulate these platforms so we can't get our words out, don't mean that it ain't coming, right? They don't want the people to know. And a lot of God's people have been targeted really bad, right? These people getting up on these platforms playing, coming down, throwing hexes and curses, following you around playing games, saying your life up like it's some type of Truman Show, playing with you. Some of y'all been targeted since y'all been children, right? They knew you was since a child. And they thought they can keep you distracted with the things around you, and some of y'all most definitely love. They try to distract you with the person sitting next to you, but they're part of it too. They're gonna be dealt with accordingly too, right? You keep your eye on the prize no matter what. And I always tell you, there's no point in walking around in fear. There's no point in walking around in fear when it's going, whatever is going to happen, right? You accept it, right? It comes to a point in time, right? That's why they start on us, a lot of us so early, because we've been strong. We've been strong even as children, right? They start you off in these homes where they are. A lot of the people that raised you is horrible. You be put over here and over here and over here, right? Some people that grew up doing this, they know who they was too, but they got to them early and gave them a seat to come and fuck with you, right? In certain positions, to come and mess with you and cast this and cast that, but they ain't understanding. They ain't, none of it matter. They still gonna be dealt with. They're gonna be dealt with. And some of these people fear who you will become, right? Who are you, right? Nobody know what God's plan is, right? And they feel like they're gonna come take and touch you and come mess with your life. They don't understand that if they touch any of y'all, God said, touch not the head of my anointed. He meant that. He said that. He meant that. God's word is his bond. I don't care what they mixing and twisting and flipping up. I'm trying to tell y'all something. They touch you, it's gonna be doomsday for them. This planet is going down. For one, for you, for me, for all of us, right? So don't fear nothing. Nobody, nothing. Don't fear nothing. They touch us. They touch a hair on our head, a chin. They are going down. You are somebody to God. God loves you. He loves me. He loves all of us. But some of these people think they're gonna stop the wrath of the Most High God. They think they're gonna punish you for what God have you do. I'm gonna say this again. Why is it that everybody else can get up there and speak and talk their stuff? When you get up there and speak, they come out their seats, they come out their podiums. They're doing a lot. They're doing a lot, trying to shut us up. They think God don't see what they're doing. They have already caused disaster from what it is that they've been doing. The sun ain't even shining like it's supposed to no more. For how much stuff these people have done, right? If anybody else knows that the weather has been very strange lately. The weather ain't even the weather no more. I don't know what it is, right? I was looking at this. I watched this video, right? Something to tell me to watch that. What is the name of that movie? Right? It was a movie. I watched a couple different movies, but it was three of them stood out to me. And the one that stood out to me was a Sick Soul, right? It was a guy who was going around, right? They just thought there was something wrong with him, and right, he just had these souls. Couldn't find out he was the one doing the soul sucker. He's a soul sucker, right? Then I watched this other one, right? It was called And I hear this girl and her stuff saying it's about to 6 something, right? She's a sellout. The one girl's already talking about her like a dog, because she is sellout. They got to her early. This happened to me. That's why God said correct yourself. Because you don't want to be in that position, right? You don't want to have that mentality, even though it's happening to you. It's supposed to be happening. All of it, everything they doing, right? I was watching, what was the name of that? Hooking themselves up to 2 RTVs and playing these games. Y'all sitting here on the bed of the TV just putting my code in. We control all this. I mean, that's what you're doing with your time. That's what you're doing with your time, right? That let me know, you let me know tenfold that I'm some motherfucking body. I am that mother effer. I'm trying to tell y'all something. I'm gonna hook up to your TV. We're gonna watch you. We're gonna watch you. We're gonna watch you. We're gonna watch you. Everything that you do, we're gonna watch you. We're gonna tell you that we control this. We don't care. I mean, but if you read the Bible, it tells you that when Satan came to Yeshua, that he offered him what? Everything of the world. He offered him the kingdoms. He says this. That he offered him the kingdoms. So even when I was watching that movie, right? That Bride movie, Ready or Not. And it was showing that there was all these people, different families wanted the throne, right? They was talking about Hail Satan, right? And I'm like, what the hell am I looking at, right? I cannot believe what I was looking at, right? And she had this ring and dude said, I told you I was going to get you, right? And in the end, she effed that mother up, right? She told him up, right? And he said looking stupid. He took his own sister's life for this ring, right? I told y'all something about the ring, right? Took his sister's life to get this ring, right? She told him, she said, I love him, but I try to keep him in check all this time. And she figured that even though I'm evil, right? I know better, but I feel like it was still some good out in him or keep him in check, right? If you look at her, she was just being mean and stuff like that because she felt like he needed to have, he said, I'm not a child. But already he was basically like, I at least figured I could keep some good in me. She tried to keep him in check, not because of the reason he thought, but to keep him in check, right? Like, she already knew he was evil, right? You could look at somebody and tell they're evil, and so she handled it a certain type of way. And he finds, I ain't no kid, I'm not your kid, I ain't no kid. You stop talking to me like I'm a child and I'm a grown man, right? But you look at him and clearly see that something was wrong, right? I said, if he get that ring, we in trouble, right? That's what my mind was. We watch the movie, be real, right? I'd be like, oh shoot, what they about to do? What they about to do, right? But it's crazy because she got offered all these pleasures, right? She said, I don't want nothing to do with this. She took that ring and threw it out and people was blowing up, right? Y'all gotta watch it. But I'm looking like, it just show you, when you go to the Bible, right? All these movies be aligned. When you go to the Bible, he said he had offered Joshua, went on the mountain and offered Joshua that all the world, right? I can give you all this. He said, no. And what they say, what it costs a man to lose this, gain the world, but lose his soul, right? Some people don't like how we talk, but you chose your side, right? And that's okay. That's okay on your end. But what the hell makes you think you're gonna get about your seat and come talk at me because what you did for yourself? Why is it bothering you so much? You know what you did, right? Be accepted to who you are, what you are, and what you did. Don't come up off your seat and nobody on no venture towards me. I ain't getting nothing to you. But in the end, she took the ring and threw it down in that hole. Anyways, he took that ring and threw it down in the hole. They all down there fighting. They would take each other everything for that ring to have parts of the world. To be able to run. It was one man running the whole world. And it's crazy because when he got to the part where he was sitting in that bed, he was old. He said, you know what you gotta do? And he said, we can't lose this ring out of our family. We can't get this ring out of our family. And so he took that pillow and put it over him, right? And I'm like, oh my God, what is this? But basically, it was rules to the game, right? Rules to this game called life. It was rules to the game. And one of the rules was, but you had to go and fight for the position, right? Once she was the bride and she won that spot, it was another phase unlocked. And so they said, she was just about to heal the officer. I said, he an a-hole. He gonna tell her, you gotta go out to the station and talk. I said, I'm happy that he got to work because I'm just sick of him, right? He didn't give her a chance to explain herself. Kind of irritated me. Anybody else watch that movie, you was like, that's the irritant. He was an irritant, right? He like a nagging bug in your ear. And instead of him asking her what happened, right? He asked her what happened. I can't remember y'all. If he asked her what happened, she told him, and then he came back in there to confirm her, so he back down to the station to talk about it. Y'all, cause I was back and forth, get my snacks in the midst of me watching this part of it. But anyways, another game phase was unlocked. And the father would have to go play, but he wasn't well enough to be out there playing. So he said, well, it's going to have to be the next in line, which would be his kids to play. But anyways, y'all, he wasn't strong enough to play. And so the next in line wasn't strong enough to play was his children. And they had so much hope, right? They had already counted the 2 girls out. Like, oh, this be over in 30 seconds. He had nurse say this be over in 30, this better be over in like 30 seconds, 30 minutes because I need to go get me a massage in an hour, right? Being funny. But see, people look at people and say, we already got this experience. We already been in this game, right? We already been in this game. We fighting dirty, and we already know that we already in this, right? We know all the rules. We know this, we know that, we know how this go. And because we got money, we're stronger, right? This is the crazy part. They base their strength off the fundamental aspect of having money, right? We stronger because we got money. Just because you got money don't make you stronger, right? And they already had in their mind figure they got weapons. They already had cheated, right? When they did that to them, right? When they put him to sleep and put him on the field, then they had kept them handcuffs together. They already rigged the game. The game was already rigged, right? They rigged it all the way up to the top, put him to sleep, had them handcuffed together, right? Didn't give them no weapons to fight with. Everybody else went out there with weapons, go karts, and everything, right? The game was already rigged, and they still got whooped their ass all the way around. And in the end, she still didn't want all that power. I don't even want this. What is this? What is this mess, right? I don't want nothing to do with this. And she walked out with her sister and the goat. Like, come on now, y'all crazy. Like, she told him at the beginning, I don't want to play this. Y'all can have it. He said, oh, that's not how it works. You have to play. Like, it's like, really? I don't want to play it. And she fucked their ass up, right? They got towed up. And it was things in between where she could have got out of there. She said, if you marry my son, and I don't come here to fight you, and this and the other. But it's like she still didn't want it. Her sister's like, oh, just take it, right? And it's like, no, I don't want to be a part of that. No. And anyways, y'all, she did the right thing in the end, right? I just couldn't believe the cockiness in this dude. He said, I told you I was going to be the one to do this. And he was like kissing her all hard. And I'm like, oh my God, is it that? Like, come on, man. He was going to be the wrong person to rule. Give all that power to the wrong person. You was in trouble. We all in trouble. We are in trouble, right? I thought to myself, he said, call off the war. And when I seen that, I said, what the hell is this, right? That one dude telling one person all that power. She said, oh, shoot, let's call it off, right? Like, how you just call somebody, make a phone call, and say, call it off, right? That's wild. But that's how it is, though, right? They showing you right in your face how it is. That stuff ain't no joking. They put it right in their face to point out because they don't care no more, right? But new phase, what I started noticing in a lot of the movies that I was watching is that it was all these phases. Like even in Fallout, when they found out who the girl was, they said she ain't from here, she's from Canada, right? She was down in that Fallout shelter, and she said, start phase 2, right? And that same thing, start the next phase, in a lot of movies I watched, there was always another phase, right? Even though you think that you know, and you think that it's over, even when you thought it was a defeat, it's still another phase. It's all another phase. Even when I was watching that Maze Runner, everything they thought it was free, it was just nothing but the next phase, right? And so, they had backup for the backup of the backup, right? And then I was watching, what else was it? Y'all was watching this one, right? You said I'm talking about when they take your life and they tell the person sitting next to you, oh, make sure you go in there and play that movie so she can see it. but they never expect for your perception to be in such a way, right? And I watched this other movie, right, late night, and it was like this big company, right, and it was this man over this big company, and the girl was in there eating tuna fish, right, in the office, and she was smarter than everybody, right? But the look of everything, the one dude took her work and claimed all her work, right? And how ironic that I talk about this stuff and here's a movie come out this year about this type of stuff, right? I'm telling y'all, some of y'all is that mother lover. I'm trying to tell y'all something. You've been that since you came out the crotch, right? You've been that. You've been her. You've been him. But y'all in the movie, it started off with, she was like supposed to be like this little lame girl, basically, right? And she was in the office and she had took some tuna fish in the office. She had handed one to her report. He went in the office and she said, make sure you tell him that I did the work, right? And this and the other. Even though he was doing her presentation, she went in the corner and watched it from a part of the office and see he was straight in there, came threw her stuff in the garbage, right? And then took credit for her work, right? Took her name off, threw it in the trash, and then claimed credit for her work. And so she said, oh shoot, right? She did it home and she said whatever. And so the next day when they came to do the what is it called? Like it was time for somebody to get a supervisor position, right? The same thing they do with us, right? They thought it was gonna get to me. Let's rev her up and pull some energy out, right? None of these tactics are working, so they had to come out on foot, right? A lot of y'all being dealt with since y'all been a kid, but none of it's working anymore, so they coming on foot now, right? You seen all these different type of weird people coming off your platforms, you people you never seen, people actually being in your little city. You like, what type of people is them, right? What the heck is that, right? They come from the underground and stuff and everything, right? I'm telling y'all. Oh, it's her mental, depression. Then you wake up and I woke up today, somebody said, oh, look at this, and it was a girl who it was a thing on there where Cardi B was speaking. She said that girl didn't commit suicide. She said that girl didn't commit suicide. She was down in another country with her fiance, and they said she committed suicide, right? And they said Cardi B spoke on this, right? Putting up in front of my phone like a threat. I'm threatening you. You ain't gonna do nothing to me. You ain't gonna do a damn thing. You come in here, I'm a everything here, tools, weapons, all that, right? I don't sleep, none of that. The guy did it for a reason. I'm telling y'all something. And so you come up to 11:01, and now I see 1:11 on the clock, right? But anyways, y'all. So anyways, it got time for somebody to get a new position, right? New position was open. And like, top position, they got the different positions. You got the manager, you got the supervisor, you got the CEO, this and that, right? And she deserved that position, but off the way she looked, they was mad about it. And he said, they like, no, we don't want her as this position, right? And when he came in the office, she was like, hey, did you get this and that and the other? I put my paper in to get that position. She deserved that position. She was hardworking, right? And she was very smart. She deserved the position. And so they put this up there so she could talk about it in her video, so it can go viral, right? This is what they do. They underground tactics. They take your numbers, switch your numbers so you don't get paid for nothing. And then they use you to eat off the back of you. And they give your work to spread your work out between different people on the platform. And they give them their creative ideas of what we talk about. They choose somebody to do this to, right? Then they take, like, even people want to give them, they can make a movie off what she said and about her job and this person doing this, right? But guys about to do something that's Ezekiel style on their tails, right? It's something so crazy about to happen to them, right? I'm talking about, I don't care who these people is. I don't care what they think they is and what they think they're doing. It's something that's about to take place in this time, y'all. I can't even stress it enough. I'm trying to tell y'all something that's about to take place on these people, right? And they laughing about what it is they're doing, but it is woo, right? When my grannies knew that something was coming about to hit down, right? She would say, woo, the bear's coming, right? And I remember she would say this stuff for like weeks. The bear coming, the bear gotcha. I remember one day she woke up and she said, the bear gotcha, right? And I said, what the heck is she talking about? The bear got you. What is she talking about? This woman is crazy, right? Until you're a crazy lady, right? And I pull crap y'all not, y'all. She kept saying, the bear's coming, right? And she was not all day, every day, right? Like something wrong with her mental. But she wake up in the morning, she said, the bear's coming, right? And I'm like, what is she talking about, right? Me and all my siblings sitting there. And she might tell me something else and she'll say, the bear's coming, right? The bear's coming. And I remember one day she woke up, y'all, she said it probably for about 2 weeks straight. I'm not bullcrapping, probably longer, I can't remember, I was so young. And I knew it took some time. And one day she woke up and she was walking through the phone, about to leave out the door. And she stopped and turned around and looked me dead in my face and she said, the bear gotcha, like that. And she said, the bear got one of y'all, right? And I said, what the heck? And I said, she always, y'all got chill out. I said, she always on something, man. I can't never have a normal day, man. Not today with this, man. And I bullcrapped and now we got a phone call by the time we got home, because back then we had telephone and they leave you messages. We had a message on our thing stating that one of our family members had did something really crazy, right? And it was on their way to the center, right? Now I saw these police officers driving past the house. What is she talking about? You, okay? But I can't say though, whatever been going on over here, they've been putting them over, babes. They've been putting them over. They've been out here taking care of business. That's not funny. Y'all see like 3 police cars right beside my house the one day. I said, what are they doing, right? And the one day I look out, they going through the side, right? Like somebody, I don't know what they seeing, what they know, right? That ain't my business, right? But they be out there taking care of business, right? They do it real swift. Don't move a muscle. You move outside this house, we are going to take you down, right? Don't look over there at the house. Don't do nothing. We are going to take your ass down, right? And so, anyways, y'all. I done seen all kind of stuff. The one day I went outside, right? Somebody said, go bless your house, right? And I went out there and I seen all this stuff. Like somebody took these, like something from off the trees. Like when the trees first started, before they get the leaves, they have on buds all over the ground, right? It was like those, like somebody took a thing, whatever, and took a whole pot of them and just tossed them in front of my house. I'm like, what is this? This ain't come from our trees, right? Because the tree, one tree is dead, the other tree, it hadn't even begun to bud yet. And so I'm like, who took this and threw this out here, right? And you know how people do. And so I went out there and I seen all of it, right? And I just seen chaos erupting around this time. I said, let me go outside and bless the house, right? And so y'all bullcrap, I left and whistled and I came back. And I grabbed the broom and I started sweeping it away from me. And I took and blessed it. And when I blessed it, y'all, I listened to this lady and she was my blessing. I said, oh, let me go do this, right? It reminded me to do it. I always do it, but something about this day. I said, let me go and put it on this, right? Y'all, it was a car rolling past, right? And it was driving past so fast. But when they got towards me, they started to slow down, right? And it was like this young Mexican looking kid, right? He was like maybe white Mexican. And he jumped out of the car. He went to jump out of the car, right? I don't know what he thought he was about to do. And I dropped that oil on the ground. I just dropped it a few drops on to deactivate whatever was doing in front of my house, right? And I said a prayer. And as I'm dropping it, the car just shut straight off. He jumped out of the car, went to run towards me, and the car shut off. That motherfucker hit a whole Dewey in the front of the house and kept walking, right? And I just looked at him like, oh, okay, right? I'll beat your ass with this motherfucking broom. Come over my way, right? But he went to run up to me, but the car shut off, right? I'm standing right out there dropping oil. This is the first drop hit the ground. The freaking car shut straight off in front of the house. And I'm looking at him like, oh, what's that? Oh, okay, you keep on moving, right? Keep telling y'all something. I'm trying to tell y'all something. I'm trying to tell you something right now. I'm trying to tell y'all something. Y'all, the old things do work. They do. The way they tell you to do this and do that, right? Remember, I go to church to bless us and all this stuff, say prayers, right? And all this stuff. And that stuff do work. And I never forget y'all blessed this kid, right? And the kid that I blessed, she had her hair done in a certain style. And the day after I blessed her, she called me. She said, hey, she said, I took my hair down. She said, it was itching so bad. And I thought to myself, no, I blessed your hair last night in your ass. I blessed her head and I blessed the top of her head. right? You bless the top of your head to the sole of your feet. I bless her. And she had took her whole hairstyle down. She said it was itching so bad. Yeah, because somebody attached something. You know, people use kids as monitoring spirits and go over there and see, tell us this and go over there and do that, right? Attach stuff to kids, right? And they think what they doing is right, but it's not. And so it was just ironic to me that she didn't know that I had went in there and blessed her while she was sleeping. And the next day she called, she had her whole hair taken down, right? She thought it was her hair, but it wasn't that. It was that dang on spirit that they tried to attach to her blood that deactivated. I'm gonna deactivate you. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. You hear me? Oh, y'all, because I'm doing my stuff. But anyways, y'all want to talk about this movie. We're watching you through your TV. We're watching you through there. I guess. I mean, that's what you're doing. Maybe you can get a learn too. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Okay. And so, when I was watching this movie, right, and she went to go talk to the dude about the position, she was eating like a thing of tuna fish, right? And y'all, it was crazy. She was eating a thing of tuna fish. And she had some on her lip. You know, you talk to people, sometimes you have a little bit on your lip. And she had turned around and offered her coworker some and all this. You know, she was just her weird self, right? Her weird peculiar self. And the guy didn't like her, and she was talking to him. Some got on his hand, y'all, and somehow he ended up in the office with the one dude, right, the black guy. And they ended up talking. He said, "But she really got the skills for the job, like, you know, that's her work, right?" And he like, "I don't care." He said, "What's this on my hand, right?" Y'all, he lifted up his hand. And he told the black dude, "Smell this. What is this on my hand? Smell this." And the black dude like, "No, I prefer not to," right? He's like, "What is this? Smell this. Right? Y'all, it was just so nasty about two of y'all was cracking up laughing. And somehow some of her tuna fish I got on his hand. But what's funny is, y'all, when I work, I used to be eating on the floor, right? And the one dude said, "You can't eat on the floor." I said, "Well, I was told when I first started that we can have snacks on the floor, so leave me the fuck alone, get away from me," right? So I just find out, right? I got so much money, right? These is how people are. They so obsessed with you, right? These your old jobs, your old supervisors, right? Your old company owners, you be surprised. They obsessed with little bit old you. They just obsessed with you. Why are you so obsessed with me? Boy, I wanna know. Acting like you're sexing me. You're delusional, but you're losing your mind. It's confusing, yo. Why you're wasting your time? They be obsessed with you. They obsessed with your swag. They obsessed with everything about you. Even your strange, weird, and peculiar behavior. They just obsessed with you. What makes your mind tick like that, right? Why my mind don't tick like that? Who you think you are to talk about me chat here, right? In the video. How do you think you are? 1, 2, 3 on the clock again, right? 1, 2, 3. We got the next day. Like I tell y'all, I stopped my video and then finished it today. 1, 2, 3 on the clock. But anyways, y'all. He said, smell my hand. Y'all just remind me of, what is that? Freddy got finger. Daddy, would you like some sausage? Daddy, would you like some sausages? Daddy, would you like some sausages? Daddy, would you like some sausages? Yeah, he was clowning, right? He said, smell my finger, smell my finger, right? Was that Freddy got finger that said that? Y'all don't know. It's been so long, right? But anyways, he said, smell my hand, smell it. What is this on my hand? Smell it. Dude said, dude, it looks so nasty, I could have threw up. He said, I don't want to smell that. No, I prefer not to. He said, no, go ahead, smell it, right? Y'all, he forced that man to smell it. He said, smell like tuna fish. And he like, oh my God, right? Then it goes to the next thing. She goes in the office. She like, he in there with his fiance, right? Her fiance come up here to visit him in the office, right? The dude was just a dude that was the owner. He was just such an asshole, right? And so, y'all, why she come in the office? She like, I really need to speak to you. He's like, no, you gotta wait. And she said, no, I really need to talk to you, right? She had to get to the point where she got upset. And she tells him like, you notice that this is all my work that I'm turning into you. You know this is all my stuff, right? And y'all don't understand that at some of these big companies, this is how they do the people who actually do the good work, right? They do this to you, right? On purpose. Then they think they're gonna take their money and go make a movie and taunt at you. But I got so much money, I can make a movie. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna tell him to come to the house and play it for you. I mean, I guess, but the way you ended that was bravo, because you got fucked up, right? Or whoever heard me speaking when they made the movie, right? Hey, they understood the assignment, right? How shit turned around, right? Right? Whoever made that, they understood. Because at first I said, I know this motherfucker ain't took his money and wouldn't make no goddamn movie off what the fuck I said, right? But I said, no, it couldn't have been. It had to be somebody else because of the way it ended, right? A person ain't gonna let that ending be like that. They're gonna make themselves like the winner, right? So I said, somebody else, right? You know, it's probably a person who got a liking to me, right? It's always somebody who got to take a liking to you for real, right? They agree. They totally agree. He said, oh, that's some good shit. Let me go make a movie off that and let's show her how this stuff really goes. I agree, but I can't say I'm agree because I'm in here with them. And but I'm gonna help you out though, let you know that I agree with you, but I don't agree, but I can't say I agree, right? And so, y'all, why? Y'all, it be cracking me up. Y'all, why the hell? As the movie go on, she go in the office and she tells him like, hey, you know, that's my work. He basically like, he know, but he didn't care. He didn't figure she was the face to type for that. See how they go off appearance, not about your work, not about how good a worker you is, but your appearance, right? But even if you look good, it's sometimes ain't about your appearance, it's your color, right? It's you black and white, that shit actually still go on. People think that slavery was so long ago when it actually wasn't, right? And my granddad told me a story about how he had to flee from where he used to live at another city, state, and country, right? Because his dad slapped a white man, because the white man kept bugging him. He got sick of it one day, he just had enough. He slapped the dog shit out of him, whooped his ass. And how his dad, my granddad literally told me before he passed, right? The year before he passed, within a year of his passing, he said that you don't know my origin, right? Where I come from. And I never thought to ask because he was such a quiet, humble person, right? But something within his last days, right? He started to talk about a lot more. And so, well, to me anyways. And so anyways, y'all, he said that his dad slapped a white man, right? My granddad's dad slapped a white man. And y'all, it's not funny. But he said that we had to run like him. He said he came home and gathered up all the kids. I mean, I think he had like 13 brothers and sisters. He had a lot. He said it took like majority of them with him. I think some stayed behind because I didn't grow. I can't remember. Some other people's houses. But he said that he was one of the ones who got taken and with his mom and dad. And they came where we at now, where I'm at now. And he said that they had to run basically because they was going to come lynch his daddy. And I said, damn, that's crazy. And then I listened to one of my exes, his mom said she used to be picking cotton on the thing with her mother, right? She used to be out there in the field where her mother was out there picking cotton. And I said, they act like slavery was so long ago when it actually was not. In actuality, it was not. It makes it like it was so far away, but it's not far ago. It's not long ago, right? It's just 2 to 3 generations back. Well, it's more than that, maybe about 4 generations back. That's not a lot, right? Because we got my grandfather, he was my adopted grandfather. So if we got my adopted grandfather, his dad, right, is me. It would have been my parents, then my grandfather, and then his daddy, right? So that's what, 4 generations back, that slavery happened. It's still going on in certain places. People can't live for taking up for themselves and have to fight a different race, right? And some people want to touch on this, but I'm touching on it, right? But dude kept bullying me. He put his hands on me multiple times, right? He just hit him because he was talking stuff. That dude was putting his hands on me, getting in his face and doing all kinds of stuff. And this particular day, he had enough. He probably had a wrong day, a fight at the house with the kids, the wife, and everything else. And this motherfucker come fuck with me today, I'm gonna slap the dog shit out of his ass. I don't care, right? He already had it implied plan. He went on the run. He left. And so, of course, he was gonna go back and lie about the story and everything else. But anyways, just something to me. I said, damn, that doesn't let me know that slavery went that long ago and it had brought back up. I'll keep going. They don't go off of none of that, right? They still go off of race, color, what look good, right? Not how much you work in your work. They will give somebody else your work and tell them to claim ownership over your work because of what they don't want to have ahead at the top. I can't have you, a black girl with a big booty, running anything in here because how would that make me look, right? So we're gonna give credit to everybody else but you, even though you're keeping us running. You even being here is keeping us in good standings, right? Some of y'all don't understand that y'all are whole Lucky Charms, y'all are whole rabbit foots out here. Y'all are whole little elves, right? Not elves, but what's he say? Give me like me coin. What is that? Leprechaun. Y'all leprechauns. Y'all carry gold on y'all. Anywhere you go, every threshold your foot cross brings luck and wealth, right? And as long as they taking care of y'all, there should be abundance. But how you fuck you live in the middle of the hood struggling, and these motherfuckers, as soon as your foot cross the threshold, right? You bringing them luck, wealth, and abundance, right? Where they can build whole empires and all this stuff around you, right? Playing games and then treating you like shit, knowing that the wealth is coming from that person that they dog keep in the middle of the hood with nothing, and they act like they taking care of you. They're not doing nothing for you. They put you in a house with a person and telling them how to manipulate the energy so they can pull from you, right? Go in there and piss them off today. Go in there and start something, right? You know when you okay with somebody, all of a sudden they come in and start shit out of nowhere. What's going on, right? Some of these people never expect for you. Some of y'all catch on to what's been happening around y'all. They got some of y'all $1 billion babies, literally billion whole energy portals, right? Sitting in the middle of the hood, treating y'all like shit, 10 on the kitchen clock, and pull it from y'all and tell that person how to manipulate your energy so they can go. Never expect you to catch on. So now a lot of y'all are learning what's going on and how to control y'all energy and stop it from manipulating. And they get mad, they gonna pull from anyways. But in the season, something is turning in the weather. Something is doing it in the weather, right? Some of y'all, the sun don't shine till you walk out your door, right? I'm just saying. You a whole weather channel, depending on your mood. Some of y'all don't even understand. You walk out to get the sun, I've gone all day. I've been sitting in the house, come outside, the sun shine today, right? And then you say, damn, it's raining a little bit outside. Next thing you know, it's raining. You don't even know who you are. Some of y'all don't even know who y'all are and what y'all are, right? Your whole body is a whole $1 million bag. Your whole body is abundance, a portal of abundance, right? They say, oh, we gonna do this, we gonna do that, we gonna pull. Your family been doing it. So till shit's creeping, when you come out the womb, everybody been pulling from you until you figure it out, keeping you in poverty and down so they can eat and feast. But ain't that shit to shame? And when they no longer working, they say, go in the house and say something real crazy out your mouth and start something. And they say, motherfucker, I ain't telling you to do so much that the person gonna catch on. I didn't know what the fuck we are when we, right? I'm telling y'all something. Somebody gonna believe, but somebody gonna say it makes complete sense. And so, and you got these people on this platform, hack it towards us so we can all take a piece and get inspiration off of what they're talking about. And then everybody's gonna think by the time they're posted, everybody gonna think that they took a piece from all of us. And then you get on here and say that on your platform, that she took a piece from that and talk right on your platform about how a woman out here taking pieces off everybody's stuff, right? And they gonna believe you, girl, they gonna believe you. Not me, why they happen to your phone and listen to all your stuff and everybody get a piece of inspiration off the back of one person. You a whole money bag, and God said, I'm gonna kill y'all, every last one of y'all. Go pull up that 777. I said, God, what's that? 333-777. So it was times like this, to rhyme like this, and then it was Ezekiel. Go into that place in that space and do this and do that. And God said, I'm gonna tear them all up, I'm gonna whoop they tap back and tails, because I told them to leave y'all alone, and I put you up for this, right? For this day that they were gonna do it, and all of them gonna get taken care of. All everybody involved gonna be taken care of. They never expected for y'all to grow up. I'm a big kid now, right? All of them thinking they get on there acting normal after they did it, and still implementing your stuff inside their stuff and saying, they copied off of me, they took a piece from me, they took a piece from me. Anyways, y'all, let me go back to that movie, y'all. Sellouts. I told y'all, Beetlejuice. She said, you ain't like me till I was a sellout like you, right? So I became a sellout like you, right? Some people had access to all kind of stuff and lied on who you was and got started on you before you even got started and got all the people looking at you sideways and somebody finally say, somebody add up. Why is this happening to us? Why are these bad things taking place? Why is my whole foundation crumbling down? We was good. And somebody right. They said, she doing it, they attacking you. That's why it's happening. They found out they attack. Meanwhile, God said, no, ain't nobody doing nothing to you. You better correct what it is that your people in that place that did. Now, have some integrity and correct what it is they did. They still be fighting. Well, since they already did it and I already know, and what I'm gonna do about it now, God said, correct it. Ain't no wrong with correcting it. Oh, you gonna just say, forget, we gonna just keep on turning up the heat. No, you ain't gonna turn up nothing. You ain't gonna do nothing, right? You gonna get turned up. And so anyways, y'all, on that movie, y'all, right? God, he said, well, you can go on a cruise with us, right? He said, you can make it to the cruise. They didn't think she was gonna show up, right? And they probably showed up all early, so she didn't make it. But she ended up showing up anyways. And somehow, y'all, they pulled up her YouTube channel, right? Just so ironically, and was laughing about how she was on her YouTube channel, how she said she liked like little Survivor movies and stuff. And they was laughing at her on her YouTube channel. The one dude who was supposed to steal her spot was taking credit for her word. He said, well, I got something to show you. I got something to show y'all. With his seatbelt on in the plane, right? What you need later on. So yeah, and so anyways, he put up her YouTube channel while they was on the plane. She's sitting in the back, and they laughing at her and her how she was out here exploring and all this. Y'all, whoever created that movie must have 10 times out of 10 watch my shit. I'm telling y'all, some of y'all think y'all ain't nobody, but y'all completely everything and stuff. But they can't tell you how they agree with you, but they totally agree. They can show you little signs and show you how they agree with you, right? How they agree on what it is you saying, but they still in that circle, so they can't come out the woodwork, right? And so, anyways, y'all, so y'all, she and they all on the plane. There's 3 guys and her. She goes ahead and tuck herself in the back. Then dude gets out the chair and who's sitting her work and show them on the plane her YouTube channel and to laugh at her YouTube channel and what she talking about how she exploring, right? And whoever made this video must have knew wanted me to see this, right? Really bad. They said put this up so she can talk about it on her channel. So, because I believe what she's saying and I believe that whatever these people doing, they're gonna be dealt with. I'm on her side, right? I'm on her side. Let me show her I agree with her. I'm sort of token of her appreciation, right? Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. And sir, whoever made that video, I made that movie. That was a good one. You did an excellent job on that there. And so, I ain't gonna say what movie it is because I have to check. I have to protect the viewer's discretion, right? I have to protect them at all costs. And so, there's some people that you just don't put on the spot like that, right? But they was laughing at this woman's YouTube, right? Why she in the back sitting there telling about how she's exploring what she's talking about and how she wants to get this big sport. And y'all, why they laughing at her, right? The whole plane, y'all did some weird stuff. Some stuff started lightning and this, that, and the other. Y'all, the whole plane began to rip apart, y'all, in the air. It was crazy stuff. I said, what the hell? That was a freak accident, right? And the plane ended up, y'all, completely coming to happen. Why the hell the one who stole the work from, right? The other 2 had flew off the plane, right? And the workers, they was flying off the plane. Y'all, that stuff was the craziest stuff. Like, they been tore up in the dang on the spinny things on the plane. Like, what's it called? Propeller, whatever it's called. Inside the wheels on the plane that be flying. The little spinny wheel thing. I can't even think what the hell it's called, y'all. But y'all, they got tore up basically. And she basically, long story short, she was a survivor and the owner of the company was a survivor, right? And they out in this wilderness. And she ended up putting him, she thought she was the only one survived, but somehow he ended up floating up to the, on land, right? From the sea to the land, from the ocean to the land. And she told me, oh, look what we have here. And no matter how nice she was, like she had caught in rain, right? That was her place, right? That was her element, because she used to watch the videos, the movies all the time, the shows all the time about surviving. And so when they watched on his name, he said he was knocked out. And so she built him something for him to be up under while he was in his unconscious phase, right? And then she had took and caught water, started raining. So she opened up some coconuts and put some leaves inside there so it could drain down into the coconuts so they can have some water. And so when he finally wake up, he was so ungrateful. When he wake up, he asked her, what you doing? And how long do you think, he's still being nasty, like he her boss, right? How long do you think they gonna take to get here? Maybe about a week or two. And what you over there doing? You out there playing and all this stuff, right? And she like, man, we're not at the office. She was dealing with for a minute, right? Then got to the point where he just became too ungrateful, right? And she like, you know what, fuck you, right? His leg was still broke. He couldn't move because his leg was broke. And so she ended up leaving for a couple days. That motherfucker his mouth was dry, y'all, his lips was dry. He had burnt up out there. He was gonna have dead by the time she came back. And so she ended up getting some water. She like, ready to work together now, basically. He like, yeah, right. But he kept, y'all, once he, yeah, they was out there for some time. But while they was out there, right, once he finally started getting a little bit better, she tell him, right? She tells him first, he's like, oh, I'm better now, I'm building my own stuff, right? I'm gonna build my own stuff, right? Y'all, she had built all kind of stuff, right? She was making it do what it do. She was putting food together and all kind of stuff, right? And she got to explore out there while he was sitting on his butt because his leg was messed up. But even when he got better enough to get up, right, he still didn't know how to feel for himself out there. And so he finally got to the point where he gave in, went over there and placed, apologized, like, can I have some of this, right? Yeah, he caught a bug, ate the bug, she out there roasting fish. And so she ended up catching a pig, right? A live pig, right? He was out there. And came back, he's like, oh, this is so good. But they had a couple moments, right? They had a couple moments, right? Where they was actually cool. So she thought. And so he said, matter of fact, no, let me go back. While she was out there, a boat actually passed. I don't think that she meant no harm, but it was just stuff that kept happening, right, to interfere. And so a boat actually passed, and she could have waited down. She said, no, I just need a little bit more time with him, right? She was basically trying to snap him out of that entitledness, right? And they had a moment where they ended up talking about their story where she said that she had a husband, her husband ended up passing away. It's 1:23 on the clock, 10:23. That's crazy on the other clock. That's crazy in alignment. 1:44 on my clock. It's 1:44 on my phone clock, and my microwave is 10:23. And so, anyways, y'all, she was basically just trying to get him to stop being an asshole, right? To see the value, like, dude, like, bring him back down to earth, right? And y'all, they actually ended up, she ended up finding some liquor or something, right? She told him she made it. But she didn't make it, y'all. And come to find out, once he got better, she said, you can go on, I can take you to the forest, right? And I can have you explore the forest, right? And I can show you what is this and what is that, right? And she showed him some berries. She said, you can't eat those and poison him with the grass. She said, you can't eat them and poisons, right? And so the day before when they sat on the beach and they had a little moment talking about their background, she said, y'all was raised with this and that. And he was basically like his dad, and his family couldn't basically come together. He had mom and dad. The dad was like never there, and even though he had came for money. Anyway, she had her moment where she shared her little story with him. And they sitting there chilling. Y'all, the next day come around when she she told him, you can't build a raft. He's like, don't you think you can build a raft and try to get out of here, right? And she said, you can't build no raft. But when she took him, she said, that's not gonna work. When she ended up taking him exploring, right? And she showed him different parts, y'all, she said it was a big old X, right? In the middle of the forest. Down something. She said, don't go over there because it's all poison and stuff over here, right? And so, y'all, it had a time where, y'all, why the hell they sitting there, right? They sitting there. I think the first time it started raining really bad, the ocean got to flowing, so it knocked all this stuff over. They ended up having to run into the cave and huddle together and get some heat together, like use their body as heat. And so, y'all, then they had the time where they started building again. They wouldn't be out there that long, but they had a point where they started building again. And they sat down, they went to sit down and eat. He made the food. Why he take some of the poison berries and put them in her food, right? And he was over there building a raft. It was a couple times she would come out the cave and stuff. She's like, what you doing? He's like, oh, nothing. He would come back out, but the whole time he was over there building a raft to get away, right? And so when they had to sit down and have dinner, this time he put the poison berries in and it fucked her up, right? And she couldn't move. He go get his raft out the corner, out the cuts, right? Forest. And he get on the raft. And he said, fuck you, Linda, fuck you, right? And she on the ground, right? Because he had just poisoned her food, so she on the ground, like foaming a little bit at the mouth. And as she on the ground, right, struggling for her life, like, damn, motherfucker, you put poison in my food, right? He go out there, get on the raft, the raft end up dragging him right back to shore, right? Drag his ass right back to shore. The raft fell out apart and all kind of stuff. And so he ended up drowning. So she ended up going out there and getting him, right? And she was already weird. This was crazy. She go out there and get him, and she had to like revive him and do CPR on him. She threw up in his face and everything. Y'all, I was hollering. I said, this is crazy, man. I was laughing so hard. But he tried to get away from her. She said, fuck you, Linda. He said, fuck you, Linda. Fuck you, Linda. Then they got on that raft. That raft fell apart. He ended up drowning, y'all. She dragged his ass out that water. She threw it all in his mouth and everything, right? Y'all, he was so bitter. And it's like, damn, I'm looking like, y'all never would have thought that was going to end the way it ended, y'all. That movie was crazy, right? She kept being nice to him. He kept taking advantage of her niceness. Like, every chance he got, he took advantage of her kindness, right? So I didn't feel no type of way about him. And he just wouldn't stop, man. And it's like, damn, you still ain't learned your lesson, man. Like, what the fuck? Like, y'all didn't get to the point where his 4:09 on the clock. 1:49. And so, y'all, this is crazy. So his wife ended up actually finding her, right? She was out there doing something, and the wife and the man ended up getting off the boat and running into her. She's like, "Oh, my husband's still living." She said, "Yeah, he's still living." But y'all, she taking him back to the camp, right? And she let the girlfriend, the fiance, fall off the side of the cliff, right? She's like, "Damn, I just need a little more time with him. He's still out of control, right?" But she ended up dying, y'all. The fiance fell off the cliff, and the man who was with her, he ended up going with her off the cliff, right, trying to save her. I think she ended up smacking him in the head and dropping both. Something happened. But anyways, y'all, she wasn't feeling too good about herself after that, right? And so he go back to the camp, he like, everything all right? But eventually he ended up seeing his fiance buried in the sand with her hand up, right, and showing a ring. And so he said, what did you do? What did you do? And she said, what are you talking about? He said, she don't feel good, right? Because after she did that to his fiance and the dude who found her, she came back and laid down. And she like, I don't feel too good. But he knew someone right. But his attitude, his personality was so fucked up, right? Y'all, she was off the hook. That Linda was off the hook. But that's what happened. You can't underestimate your opponent, right? They keep underestimating the opponent, right? They thought she was some weak weirdo, right? And then in the end, come find out she was beautiful as hell, right? That's crazy. But y'all, why the whole time? The part where she said where the forest was, right? That it was poison. Don't go in that area because it's poison. Y'all, why the hell? Kind of find out it was a whole house over there with water in there, right? It was like a mansion out there, right? And he ended up finding out, he showed her the ring, like, this what you did, and right? They got to fighting, y'all. That shit was crazy. Y'all, that movie was the funniest movie I've seen in a long time. They was out there fighting, y'all. He stuck in her eyeball. Y'all are shanking. And she finally runs over there. He finally sees the house. He's like, what the hell? I guess where she was getting all that stuff from, right? And she goes in the little the security room in the house, right? She talks to him for the security room, like talking about how everything was meant to be and all this stuff, right? And she played this role like she was just so like we were meant to be together out here, right? But she never felt that way about him. But it just was fun to her because he was such an asshole. And so he seen the house, right? He got in the house and she was already in there, right? At this point, they both was beat up pretty badly. She was so good, y'all, that she went out there and she had a rifle, but it was empty, right? But he didn't know it was empty. She pointed at him. And she told him like, oh yeah, we should really be together. I just feel like this, right? But I don't think she ever felt like that, y'all. She was such a character. So yeah, once we washed up together, I figured we was meant to be, and we should just stay out here forever. And I just need a little bit more time with you, right? And he takes it, and he on the ground like, yeah, we can stay out here forever. He on his knees, right, in the house, and he like, yeah, we can just stay out here forever. This dude would not give up, like he would not stop. He still attacked her and took the rifle and tried to shoot her with it, but the rifle was empty. She was so smart, and she climbed on the thing and grabbed this thing that was up there and smacked him in his head with. She used that nigga head like, she used his damn head like a damn golf field, right? And it kind of ended basically like with her on golf having on the golf course, right? She got rescued, and it kind of ended with her on the golf course, right, a real golf course, and she had a #1 best-selling book, right? But it showed her in her new era, y'all. She was so beautiful, right? She had her hair from the ponytail, had her golf outfit on, y'all. She was so cute. And basically, right, you see how the tables turn. Everybody want to underestimate the opponent, right? In all the movies that I've seen, right? And I tell you, I watched Pattern like a mug, right? Everybody was underestimated, even from Fallout, right? It was one girl, she was so nice and kind, right? When she first went out there in the world, she was like, oh, this is gonna be easy, right? And at the end, she was like, oh, shoot, she still was herself, and she still never changed her values, but she got a little bit more tough. But everybody kept trying to underestimate all the people that they felt was vulnerable, right? They underestimated them until they went until it took a left turn, right? Never underestimate your opponent, right? They see you. They say, I got more than you. I got this, right? I got more money than you. I got all these things over you. I got all these people bagging me in my bullshit, right? And another thing that I watched was, what was it? Aladdin. Y'all was watching Aladdin. And y'all remember on Aladdin, Jafar, the man, he was basically a warlock, right? He was a warlock, right? I never paid attention to that as a kid that Jafar was a warlock, right? So when I watched it a couple months ago and I'm sitting here, and the prince, he was such a little fluffy thing, right? He was so cute. He was honest, right? He was an honest guy. But Jafar was always trying to make him bring out his bad side, right? No, we do it like this, we do it like that. He was taking his little cane and hypnotizing him to make him do all this bad stuff, right? To make him, he was basically ruling through the king. He was taking his tricks out his bag. The king didn't know it at the time, but he was taking his little tricks out the bag to rule the king, basically, right? Playing these games with the king. But in all of them, right, they all end up in fucked up situations. It's always somebody sitting next to somebody, right? Playing games and corrupting the space that's not even corrupted, right? These are people who go to the person at the top and they sit next to them and say, do this, do that, do, until they don't work no more, so they be figured out, right? Then, y'all, I'm on a rampage, but I'm about to break this down in a couple sessions, right? The way you love me, body make me feel better, and hey, finally got you out my bed, but I'm gonna have to put this out tonight because by the morning time, it'd be like 6 different people with something out of my stuff in their stuff, and they be saying they get it to me. They took it from me too movement, this Me Too movement, right? But anyways, y'all, I'm not gonna keep going. If I think of something else, I'm gonna get back on here. It was something else I was watching, y'all, but I put it in my other video, and I really didn't want to put it back on here. It was The Creator, that movie called The Creator, and it was another movie called it was a Black Light, right? Blue Light, Black Light, Black Light. I think it was Black Light. It was either Blue Light or Black Light. And on both these movies, what I noticed in there too is that it was all corrupt systems, right? Corrupt systems, right? Corrupt government systems, right? And they was using like the men to become boyfriends with the women in both of the movies, right? But in the one, Black Light, it was like a guy inside the FBI, right? But it wasn't the full FBI, right? Every time I say this, y'all, they click me out. Y'all got clicked out every time I talk about this. Storage full. Y'all, I talked about this like 10 times and I cannot get it out, right? Storage full. But in Black Light, right, it was an FBI guy. And it wasn't the full FBI, but it was a guy inside the FBI who got a job in there, and he was in there running his own program inside the FBI, right? And when he supposed to be doing it, just doing what he wanted to, right? And he had corrupted. He had a friend, right? Who he had like 4 guys basically that go out and do stuff, right? For the most part, it was like normal stuff until they started turning dark, right? And then he found like these 3 guys who had like bad backgrounds, basically. His one friend who was down with him, they actually ended up doing something together on accident, but on purpose, right? It was him. It started off with basically him and his friend. When the story came out, basically, it was him and his friend who had did something together, and they was coming out of the bar, and it was a man on the side of the bar in the alleyway trying to rape a woman, and when they told him to stop, he went to take something out of his coat jacket, but they thought it was a pew pew, and kind of find out it was a wine bottle, and but they already pew pewed, and so they both ran off, and they was young and they was scared. And so anyways, the one guy ended up becoming an FBI agent, so he was using his friends to go out here and do like little dirty work, but it wasn't, for the most part, it was like cool. Like, so the one lady, she was his job description was like to go get people who was inside like these jobs, government jobs undercover. Go in there and save them if it got bad, or if they found out what it was about. Like if you go undercover somewhere and it went bad, we left. And so, anyways, for the most part, his job was nothing too like out of whack, right? But the friend's job, right, the one guy, which they were supposed to be best friends, and then kind of find out the guy Dusty, right, which started off with the movie with the one FBI agent, right? He ended up going. He wasn't actual FBI agent, but he was a worker for the one FBI agent, right? Doing it just doing what the fuck he wanted to do, right? He was a worker for the one FBI agent, and he had like, I think, yeah, it was like 4 workers. And so when he went to go, sit down, boy, with that click clacking. Sit down, The other dog been walking. In all of our videos, sit down. Come on, sit down. Get over here, sit down. Sit. Sit down. Shoot. For hours, just click clacking. Sit down, more. She older. When I move around the house, she click clacking right behind me, and I bang on chain. I heard collar. But anyways, y'all, it started off in a movie where the one FBI agent was, I wouldn't call him FBI. He was one of the workers. I'm calling one of the workers up under this FBI agent. He was a worker under the FBI agent, and he sent his guy out to spy on the one girl. She was like a senator or something for a senator, but it started off with her hyping up the crowd, basically. she would have been like, what's the people that be in your governor, whatever. She was like the person up under the governor, but she was like, I don't know if she's trying to become a governor or whatever. But whatever, it started off with her hyping up the crowd, right? And I think they was ready to vote. She was like hyping up the crowd. Y'all, she wouldn't even do nothing. But this man sent the guy in, his name was Dusty in the movie, to basically watch her. Y'all, she wouldn't know, probably she wouldn't even do nothing, right? And he was with her, I think, for like a year or a little bit over a year. And so y'all started off with him sitting there, right, on the street. Like, say somebody just parked there and he's sitting there on the street. And he's sitting there watching her walk past. She didn't notice him in the car. And so she walked past, and all of a sudden, you see a truck come out of nowhere and just run her over, right? That's how the movie started off. In the street, she died. She lost her life. And so I didn't know kind of how it was going until they started getting up in here. And so basically, when it started off with the dudes in the car, come to find out it was her boyfriend sitting there. He watched her get ran down in the middle of the street. And so he went on this rampage where he was trying to get justice. He's like, I know this is my job and I'm hired to do this. But come to find out, he was getting all this bad stuff on the people. He was getting all this bad information, like their background into blackmailing with. So he was sitting in the room and say, tell me something about you, right? Tell me your dirtiness, right? Tell me your dirty secrets. And then he was telling them about what the job description is. Basically like forcing. It wasn't the FBI, but it was a guy who was hired in the FBI. He was an FBI agent, but he was a crooked ass FBI agent, right? Just doing what the fuck he wanted to, run the program inside of a program. And so, y'all gotta go watch it. I think it's called Blacklight. And so Dusty was so mad about he felt guilty about her stuff because like, I know you're telling me that we going out doing these acts. I know you're telling me we going out doing these things. But at the end of the day, right? It was so crazy when I started talking about this like 2 weeks ago. All of a sudden, the doors started getting locked in the house and all kind of stuff. Y'all, I seen all kind of weird stuff going down, right? But then after I started calling people out, oh, your mental. So this is the mental. I said, why did you leave that back door unlocked back there down there? You never did this. It's a 2x4 up there. I check it every night. What made you unlock that and then take the 2x4 off the door? That ain't happen. I mean, you ain't gonna have anybody come up in here over me. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And so, anyways, I just found it ironic that once I started talking about this, that all this weird stuff started taking place, right? And then it's the attacks with the mental, and then all this medicine getting snuck on my stuff, right? I just found it ironic, right? And so, anyways, and that's why I talking about this on here, on another one of my phones that kept saying storage, right? When they post this exact thing that I'm talking about right now. And so, about these two movies that I seen, right? These people, it's so scary, right? They know to be acting what we saying and what it is that these motherfuckers been doing to some of us, right? And going above and beyond, right? Because you're a threat. And they send people in on you, right? Your boyfriends, your girlfriends, I think they just there, but they, people who've been sent towards y'all for a reason, but they're not understanding that the reason is deeper than what they think it is, right? These people don't know the actual reason until they go all the way left. It's like, that person was doing nothing, right? What did you just do that for? Because that person was a threat, right? Because they seen through the BS. And so, anyways, once he got ran down in the street, then showed this guy, like in the car, he gets out the car, and he's like, all these police officers running up on him. He started beating him up. And so the one lady say, right, she was an interviewer lady, right? And at the top of this company, you know how people, you got the people who do like put out the information on what's going on, not the news, but the other people who gather information and then put it out and had these good stories about what's happening, right? And so, I forgot the name of it. And so, yeah, I bet you I will sneak some mental illness medicine, depression medicine on my shit. And so the motherfucker ain't gonna touch me, and none of y'all gonna touch me. Man, one of y'all gonna touch me. And so, anyways, y'all, I'm drinking my stuff. Whew. Anyways, y'all, once he seen her get ran down the street, he was trying to take this what's the name of those things? Flash drive. He was trying to take a flash drive to this lady to get the story out. And the dude Dusty didn't know. I mean, the other man who worked for him, right, the best friend who actually know what's going on, his best friend actually didn't know what's going on, so he kept being sent to stop Dusty from turning in this thing, right? But he didn't know he was stopping him from turning it, and he just knew he was sent to bring him back in. And so he's like, man, I'm pretty sure that whatever's going on can be worked out. He's like, no, man, Dusty's like, no, man, can't be worked out, man. I gotta get this off my conscience. I gotta get this off my conscience, right? And so, yeah, I'm laughing because all this stuff that's rolling past as I start talking about this. She's talking about it. And so, anyways, block her, hack her, stop her. Oh my god. And so, anyways, once he ended up getting to the lady, right? He tried to meet with her on 2 different occasions. The first time, the best friend dude was running him down the street, like, stop, just stop. We can just go in, we can bring him in and talk about it. This and the other. He's like, no, ain't no more talking. You don't understand what's going on. You don't understand that they doing these things, right? You don't understand. I gotta get this flash drive to this woman. And so the first time he tried to get to a woman, he ended up stopping, right? From getting to her. The second time, he called her woman again and said, nigga, let me here. But this guy sent 2 other dudes to try to take Dusty's life before he can get a flash drive to the reporter lady. And so he says, it's mighty funny how I hear certain people saying those slick stuff on they thing, right? Trying to make you a non-factor, but I'll show you who you fuck you playing, who you playing with, man. Take that part, put it in there, but don't put it exactly just that way. Put it in a different way so it look like that person is saying what you're saying, right? This is the games they play. This is the part of tricks. And so there's always somebody out there that know that we ain't lying to what we saying, right? You can't trick everybody. People, we in a new age now where people got their own mind. You can't trick the average Joe no more. It's over with. And so he ended up, the second time he tried to meet with this lady, Dusty, the guy, best friend, was running him down again, like, hey, what are you doing? Stop. And so he like, no, he just sent some people in the middle of the night to take me out of here. I gotta get this flash drive to this woman. So he like, what's going on? We can just talk about it. He like, dude, this whole talking about this, I gotta get this off my conscience, right? And come to find out, right, the flash drive that night, he sent the FBI agent dude in there doing his own thing up under the FBI. He had sent 2 hitters to go after Dusty, who was innocent, as well as the woman who ran over in the street, which was Dusty's girlfriend, who they sent in to watch her, was an innocent person. And he like, y'all just killing the average Sally at this point. Like, what is y'all doing? And so to protect what? It ain't even, come on now. But anyways, y'all, so as he get into this lady, right, running to this lady, the other best friend is chasing him down. And he ended up getting too close to him. And so he told her a spot to meet him at, right? And so he run into the spot. She was already there. She runs to the spot. He runs to the spot. And somehow the other guy, best friend, still chasing him. And he jumps the gate. He said, no, I gotta get this flash drive to her. He said, what's going on? What you mean? He said, they just sent 2 people last night to try to take me out of here for this flash drive. Like, I need to get this to this reporter woman, right? As he jumped the fence, 2 dudes, they put up in a black truck on the other side of the fence where he was at and basically gunned him down in broad daylight, right? Take his life they took his life in broad daylight and took the flash drive off of him, right? And so the best friend, at this point, they on the other side of the fence. And the black lady pulls up and they see how he just got gunned down. They hide. And they're like, oh my God, what the hell just happened, right? And so the reporter lady said, I'm pretty sure it ain't just about nothing. And they just took his life in broad daylight, not caring. Like, this is why they took, she said, what was that? He said, it was a flash drive. And so at this point, his vision of his best friend began to change. He said, no, something ain't right with this, right? And so the reporter lady, she go back to the office, she's telling her friend about it. One of her guy friends who's another reporter. He's so fucking, excuse my language, he's so greedy. He puts out the report without her even having all the information, being slick, but it wasn't his report to put out. And so she like, why they linking up? And she talking to him, right, trying to figure out everything. And they both, the best friend and the black reporter lady, trying to figure out everything. The friend inside of the company ended up leaking her information, And she's like, why would you leak that? That's not yours to leak. That's not your story. We don't even have a whole story. And he's like, oh, sorry, babes, I just had to do this and that, like being ignorant. And she's like, why would you do that? You shouldn't leak that. That's not your story to leak. We don't even know what's going on. We don't even know what we're dealing with here, right? And he leaked that information. But the night he was acting all nonchalant, didn't care about how he leaked her story, right? And he not understanding. She like something's deep. She kept going back to her friend or telling her the same guy who leaked the information, like, dude, this is something deep we're dealing with here. This is not something little that we're dealing with. This is something big we're dealing with. And you don't just know how deep this rabbit hole goes. You had no business leaking that. And plus, it's not even yours to leak. That was my stuff. Why would you do that? But y'all, he got dealt with. And so when he leaked that information, it got back to the FBI worker, right? The head guy who was running this thing. He wasn't the head, actually. He wasn't really nobody. He was just a regular FBI worker. But he was running a program inside of a program, doing something he had no business doing. And so, later on that night come, and the man must have started thinking about how wrong he was for leaking it. So he went to call her, and she didn't answer the phone. And so he left her a voicemail. He said, I just want to tell you I'm sorry for leaking this and leaking that. But while he on the voicemail, he went to his car at nighttime, and while he on the voicemail, telling her how, he apologized for leaking her story. Two men come out of the woodwork and started two men who was going whole brainwashed. They were so brainwashed that they wouldn't stop at nothing. Right? This guy had brainwashed these guys so bad that they wouldn't stop. And so y'all gotta go watch it, y'all, because I'm trying to explain it, because I'm saying what I'm saying for a reason. And so, anyways, they ended up chasing him down the street and running him down. And it was nighttime, but he was driving so fast that he ended up running right. Ended up jumping out and putting something in his car, and it blew up his little car, right? And she ended up finding out that they blew up his car, and he ended up passing, right? And so basically, at first, her and this dude wasn't her the best friend, really wasn't on one accord. But once all this stuff began to take place, they ended up on one accord. He said, I gotta figure out what's going on. Like, what's going on that's this deep to where this is going on. I gotta figure out what Dusty was talking about. Like, he ended up joining teams with the reporter lady. And so they started digging a little bit deeper and what was going on, and to come to find out that what I said at the beginning, that they was black men, they was finding like regular guys, right? Who had certain type of backgrounds, and they was basically using them to do the dirty work, right? And when he went to go check his friend, he went a couple times. He took his family and all this stuff, right? He thinks his friend took his phone. He got to question him. He went and took his family and put him in protective services where he couldn't find him. He like, oh, we best friends. Like, even though it ain't nothing you couldn't talk to me about what's going on, he like, I'll just leave it alone and all this stuff, right? He like, I'm not doing nothing. What you do with my family, right? We supposed to be best friends. Ain't nothing that could be going on. You couldn't talk to me about to the point where you took your position and you abused it so bad that you done put my family in protective services where I can't find him. Like, just being slick, like using his family as leverage, right? But the family, which was his daughter and his granddaughter, and he like, you put my granddaughter and my daughter in protective services, but they didn't know they was being used as leverage. They thought they was going to protective services, and the best friend was calling to put them in protective services, right? Abusing the position. And so, in the end, right, they figured out what was all going on. That lady who ran down the middle of the street and it started adding up to all these people who had passed away. And he said, they out here just taking the average Jane and Joe life. He said, I didn't know we did stuff like this. He said, that woman that I dealt with for all those years, for that year, I think that they even gave him a ring to marry her. And, for him to pay his position, her life. Oh, y'all been together for a year now. Here, take this ring and marry her. But he ended up actually falling in love with her. And so, when they took her life, he watched her run her down the street. He's like, oh, no, she wasn't even doing nothing. I've been with her for a year. I've been watching her for over a year now. This girl was not doing nothing. That was not called for. I watched her get her life ran down the middle of the street. Like, this is not right? And then he said, I gotta get this. No, they didn't tell me I was like up for this. They didn't tell me that I was taking an average Jane Joe life. They didn't tell me this, right? And once he started doing his, Dusty did his own thing, he found out how many people had passed away and how many innocent people lost their life, right? Just because he didn't want to get out. But it was about him not wanting to get out at that point. At that point, it got to the point where he was just flat out greed, right? They doing something with this thing on mirror here, right? He snatched it down. It's all just come down. And so anyway, greed is a motherfucker. Oh, is she a potential problem? So just wipe him out, right? And it's like, what? What's even crazier, right? When the best friend went to his house, right? He was going to go there and talk to him and ask him, what's on his flash drive, right? What is this that you want people figuring out? When he went to his house, the two dudes was out on a mission that he had brainwashed. He had another two dudes that was brainwashed. And so they got to get into this little fight, basically altercation. They started shooting on the side of his house and all this stuff, right? The best friend kept yelling out to them, hey, I was down the right too, but he lying to us, y'all. Just stop. I don't want to hurt none of y'all. Y'all brainwashed. But they were so brainwashed, they was like robots. How they kept just coming after him. He was trying to tell them that what they was doing was wrong. Like, they do had brainwashed him so much so that they went after him. And they like, we don't care. He told us this, and this is what it is, right? And they, y'all, he ended up tearing them dudes up. He told them two motherfuckers up, right? I mean, but oh my God, right? And so, y'all, this dude was using his position to, but like I said, it was not the FBI. It was a dude, just regular worker inside the FBI that had hired his own team to do whatever the hell he wanted to. And the team that he hired was blackmailing them with this, with their information. To come in, he had to have information on them, right? Dirt on them. Anybody gotta go somewhere and they gotta have dirt on you is a problem, right? And so, anyways, y'all, then after I watched that, I see another movie pop up right after that. I said, let me see what this is, right? But it was crazy. It was a robot movie, right? And it was called The Creator. And it was like the government had took ideas, blew up. They had regular people and robot people. They had built the robots to work together with the people. But some people ended up even dating some of the robots because some of them looked so realistic, right? And so, anyways, the government had to have a reason to get things back the way they wanted them to be. So they took and blew up something and blamed it on the robots and said it was an attack from the robots, right? Mind manipulation. And so most of the people knew. You had some people who went to go live with the robots. So they're like, no, this ain't right? And then they had you had humans that was living in like our world, like they say in the record, and they like, we know that it's wrong what they doing, we know what they did, we just gonna keep turning our heads and walking like everything normal, right? Like we ain't got the time for the debate or the battle, we really don't care. Some people just didn't care, right? And they just want to live their life. And then you had those who was living with robots and people. They still F with the robots. They're like, no, kind of like activists, right? This is trying to show me something. Activists, like for the robots, right? And then it was just, in this movie, it was like a Chinese woman and a black guy, and he was an FBI agent, and he was sent in undercover to watch this lady because they thought the whole time that it was her dad that was building this organization for these, like, going through this whole thing. But anyways, on that movie, right, they sent the FBI agent in there to watch her to try to get to her dad. They thought it was her dad the whole time. It was her. But anyways, they was together, and they FBI agent, and where he came from, the system where he come from, they gave her a ring to give to marry her. He said, oh, y'all been together for a year, it's about time for you to marry her, right? Or put a ring on her, engaged to her, right? Basically, this is how far they go, right? This is wild. And so she loved him. She was pregnant by him and everything. And they ended up doing a bus. They did a bus way too early. He said, what y'all doing? And he said, baby, go up there, right? She thinking her boyfriend down the ride with her, and for the cause of her parent, what they think her father was doing, right? Thinking he acted this with her, but they didn't send him in there, right? And I noticed something about both these movies. In both of the movies, they had activists, right? It started off with activists, right? This woman was inside this place, right? And it was like all these trailers and stuff inside that blue light movie. And they was out there like, bring her out, bring her out. She's like, I don't know who reported me, man. I've been out here with these motherfuckers for all this time. Got to my head, it's in my head, right? But then was like activists or something. The creator, they were like activists basically for the robots. And she was so smart, she was building this stuff, but the whole time it was like, it's her dad, right? And they was for her dad, but the whole time it was her. She was that genius. And so the day when they kicked in the door, she was never supposed to find out he was an undercover agent. But the day that they kicked in the door, basically, they acted too fast, right? He asked the dude, like, what y'all doing here? I told y'all I had it under control. Who y'all looking for in here? Y'all did the bus already, but why y'all ain't telling me about the bus? But he sent her upstairs to get close so they can hurt and leave while these agents for the government come running in on, right? And his friend like, man, we was told to do this and told to do that. He said, no, man, y'all should have did that, everything under control. Ain't nobody here that's doing this and doing that, right? And she come back down the stairs and she about to say something to him, but she ended up overhearing him saying that he was with the government, basically. And she looked at him like, oh man. But anyway, she ended up going out in the ocean, getting on these boats to flee, and they took this big old machine and like just blew the whole thing up, y'all. It was crazy. But come to find out, y'all, she had built her super baby out of their baby because she was pregnant at the time. And of course, she didn't make it, but she ended up building like a super baby out of their baby and all that stuff. Y'all kind of was confused a little bit. I'm like, if she died on the ocean, how she would have had time to build a super baby out of a baby, right? That means she would start that shit before then, right? But it didn't, unless she started before, I don't know, y'all kind of confused on that part. But anyways, she ended up building a super baby, right? She built a superhuman, right? A superhuman slash robot, right? This thing was so strong it could shut down stuff just by putting his hands together, like shut down systems and everything. And come to find out that it was built basically to shut down this big old machine they had hovering, killing innocent people and innocent robots, right? And so he ended up finding out everything that the guy, and he's like, nah, I'm not doing this, right? But I noticed in both of them that they send these undercover people in, right? They fell in love. But kind of like they really weren't doing that. These active people, they really wasn't doing anything, right? They was really just minding their business. They was really just doing a good thing. But the government was so, you got the one doing the last video, the black light, he was so, stop, Amor, what's going on? Come on. Y'all, she been walking for 2 days. I don't got time for this. Go. Here you go. Turn it off for you. Go. She got down here. She's doing too much. No. I mean, like, click, clack, that's all you hear in my background. Click, clack. I was just in my video, do my editing, and I hear click, clack. But anyways, y'all, I noticed in both these movies that these undercover people went in, but when they start finding out the truth, like, these people weren't actually doing nothing, right? They were doing stuff for the greater and better, that they ended up turning on them, like, no, we're not doing this, right? They ended up doing the right thing in the end. And then, what else was it? There was another one I was about to say. She distracted me with her clicking and clicking. Jesus Christ. That's what I'm about to say, right? And then another one, I was walking through the house, right? This was weeks after I seen maybe about 2 weeks after I seen that movie, The Creator, in black light. I was walking through the house, and it took me back to when I said, can y'all just get along, in my last video. And I said, what is that, guy? And he took me back to that part, and what was that? Tales from the Crypt, Tales from the Hood, Tales from the, whatever one it's called, Tales from the Crypt, Tales from the Blood, Tales from the Hood, whatever. And but out of all the ones he showed me that one with the activist dude, right? And basically, the police ended up putting him over. He was just an activist person, right? And he was out there like, basically, you know what activist is, right? I'm not going into the details. They very threaten activist people, or anybody who had the potential to become an activist for anything, right? Not just for rights and this and that, right? Just even talking your truth, right? Very threatening. And so, let's slide this depression medicine on here. So when we take her life, it say like she committed suicide. I think, I don't believe, no, we ain't doing that one, right? That's the oldest trick in the book, right? They think people can't see what they be doing, right? I don't have depression. We gonna put this depression medicine on here as a threat. We're gonna threaten you, and then we're gonna do this if you don't shut up. I mean, I guess. And so, anyways, she crazy. Oh, she called the person that day, tell her she crazy. And then when she go over there, you say she crazy too. And then y'all mess with her mind, and then y'all gonna say this, everybody gonna say it. So when we do this thing to her, it looks like she killed herself in the end. Bitch, please. And so, these people, wow, ain't they? Because you talking about what you've been through and things that just help somebody, and these people be that threatened, right? That is wow. That's wow. Foolishness. Pure foolishness. And so anyway, and I hear other girls here talking about, because somebody did something to you, and somebody else on the side did this and did that, and they committed this and committed that, right? That's not a jokey joke thing at all. But when you're watching people doing stuff, you can see that they've been set up there to do stuff and taunt people, right? They become the butt of the fucking joke. Which they will, right? That's why God gave Ezekiel, right? Don't fret, don't worry, child. Do not worry, right? And so when I was watching, when about that part came up, when them three, it was 3 police officers, and there was a black police officer, 3 white Caucasian police officers, there was a black police officer in that one, because they had, in that Tales from the Hood, they had like different clips in there, right? Different video movies in there, little movies in there, right? And so in one, right, out of all the ones that came up with the activist, and when he was like, they pulled him over, and they sent the black guy, right, the 3 police officers, they was beating him with they rod things and all this stuff, right? And he's like, man, what is y'all doing all this for, man? And so they tell the black dude, go back there, right, and run his license plate and all this stuff. But when the dude run his license plate, he look and see that he's an activist. He's like, oh man, that's such and such. But by the time he look up, he come back to the car where they was at, they was beating. He said, man, what y'all do that for, man? No. The black police officer, he's like, no, man, that's not cool, man. He said, oh, we're gonna take care of him. And the black police officer, he kind of back up. He's like, no, I'll take care of him. He's like, no, we'll do it. We'll take care of him, make sure he gets to where he needs to go, basically, right? I haven't watched it in a while. I need to go back and watch it. And so he said, we'll take care of him. But deep down in that black man, that black police officer, heart, soul, mind, body, and spirit, he knew that they was going to take care of him, all right? He knew it wasn't right. But he went on here and went home. And they took and stuck a needle up in his arm, right? After they already beat him, they took and stuck a needle in his arm and pushed his car, stuck him in his car. He was sitting there, they put him in his car. They drove the car out to like by the ocean or something, and they stuck a needle up in his arm. And they took his car and pushed it over in the ocean or whatever. I don't know if it was ocean or river, I can't remember. And that's how it started off basically, right? And then it went to, he ended up passing away, right? And then it went to the black police officer. He wasn't a police officer anymore, and he was laying there, and he was like he was drinking, and he was going like through DTs, like he had messed with his mental, that he had turned his back, knowing it was wrong. He had turned his back, knowing it was wrong. and what they was doing was wrong. He turned his back on that man, and it fucked with him, right? He wasn't a police officer no more. His mental was all messed up, right? And he ended up calling the police officer. He told him to meet. Called the three police officers and told them to meet them out at the graveyard. And so when he got out the car, he said, "Bring them to me, bring them to me." Like that man's spirit did not rest until he got them in, right? People think this is a joke. This stuff is not a joke. These are not tall tales. And he said, "Bring them to me." You know what time it is? Bring them to me, right? And on his death day, right, his anniversary death day, whatever, the black police officer called him 3 white police officers out there and said, "Meet me out here at the cemetery." So they met him out here at the spot location. And he said, what the one police officer said, "What you guys out here for, boy?" And all this stuff, right? And he said, "I just felt like since it's his anniversary date, we should all pay him respect, right?" And he said, "Oh, you want us to pay him some respect? You want us to pay him respect?" So they went to his grave site and they started pissing on his grave, right? The two then he said, "You get over there and do." He said, "No, I'm fine." He said, "No, you get over there and you." The tactic they use. The one spin the cup, we all spin the cup, right? And so the last one went to go piss on his grave. He really didn't want to do it, but it's one of them incidents. You spin the cup, we all spin the cup. And so he went on here and went to go do it. And when he went to go do it, that man, spirit popped out of his body. I don't know what the hell he was, right? It was like something green in him, something was glowing in him. And he snatched him down in that damn grave. They got the other two got to running, right? The other dude just kind of bagged up. Black dude bagged up, like, "Oh, you're a thug fizzle, right?" And the other two got to running. They said, "What the hell, man?" Right? They running, right? They running for their life, right? They running for their life. He told they asses up. I mean, he told they ass up. And they was running like hell, right? They was running like hell. And that's crazy. They was running like hell. And he jumped on top of their car, right? They run down the street, and he jumped on top of the car. And he snatched the one dude's head from y'all, it was crazy. He snatched his head from his whole body, right? And the other dude went to got out of the car, started running down the alley, and he put him, he out here, he here. And he did something with him with his whole body, went into a painting on the wall, right? That was crazy, y'all. That y'all gotta watch. I think that's Tales from the Hood or Tales from the Crypt, one of the two. I think that's Tales from the, is it Tales from, y'all one of them, Tales from the Hood or Tales from the Crypt. I can't remember because it's been so long. And so the other, I can't remember what the black dude did. I think he said, you something me. Y'all, he's gonna speak to the black dude, right? The black police officer who turned his back on him. He said, "You something me," right? But I think he ended up just going about his business. I can't, guys, it's been so long since I watched it. And I want to go back and watch it. But my whole point, what I'm saying is, it's something, right? When God gives you stuff, right, it's up to you to pay attention, right? And when you're watching people around you doing stuff, right? Your mental. These people never seen you had a mental breakdown, none of that, right? And when you do go off on them for something is that they doing, like I said, they try to corrupt the viewer's mind and what it is they looking at, right? And so if you're going off on somebody about their behavior and their actions and the things that they doing, how they contacting your one family member and they not supposed to know each other or be around each other, they only know each other through you, but they should be contacting each other behind nobody's back or nothing like that. And you see people contacting each other and you, "Hey, what's going on?" Did that individual just call your phone and somebody screaming high to the top of their lungs, they start, "You're mental." But these are people who have history of mental illness, have a history of these things, right? Playing with you on your top, right? When you see these things all taking place in the whole week, right? Throughout the week. And you want to 3, it's crazy because I started talking about this, right? When I'm listening to my thing, the whole thing just clunk out. When I record, I'll just clunk straight out. Get it off there, right? People feel like it's a million against one. And everybody goes screaming the same thing and playing games. Everybody hiding in the back of somebody else because they got something to gain and something to hide that they already did and everything and stuff, right? They took somebody else's word for it and then did an action and the thing and everything. And then they finally find out that you wasn't the one or the two, right? They finally find out that you was never the problem, right? And they went into action off what somebody else said. And they say something added up because we did all these things to this person. And for some reason, God's still keeping them, right? Even if they don't believe in God. So many people that dealt with, came into your life an atheist or believing whatever they believe in, right? And came over there and fucked around and found out if I became a true believer. And they found out that they don't lied all up on you, right? Using their family members to abuse their position, right? Been doing it for some time now. And they're screaming, "You got to keep cleaning up your mess. You got to keep cleaning up your mess." They think they're going to stalk and follow you around, right? And estimate and prey. Predator and prey, right? So they thought you was a predator. They thought they was a predator and you was a prey. But the hunted becomes the hunter, and the hunter eventually becomes the hunted, right? Vice versa. Oh, you might that. The hunter become the hunted, and the hunted become the hunter, right? Them tables do turn. But another thing that I want to say as well, right? While I'm going about my business, don't fear nothing and nobody, even when you see that people are doing things around you, right? And slide medication on your record that you never took in your life, playing games, trying to hide what they did. And they got some people who want to hide what they did. Some people that did this and did that, right? Find out they was wrong in it. Oh shoot, let me stick this on here. Let me do this. Let me do that. Let me do this. Let me do that. Let me do this. Let me do that. Let me put this up here. Let me do that. Let me get all these people involved and lie and keep on coming, keep on rolling, right? And they think you're gonna sit there. Oh my God, what's happening? I said, what's wrong with that TV? Well, who's typing in any type of number on the damn? You know, with certain apps and stuff on your TV, you got to put the pin in for it and pressing all kind of buttons and putting all this different stuff up and playing in my face. So let's just show me here. Let's scare them. We're gonna do something to them. I mean, I guess, but this is the thing though. When you accept whatever it is, a guy, if it's God's will, then it will be done on earth as it is in heaven, right? Some of us come here for this, right? You don't walk around in fear and about with nothing and nobody doing. When it all boiled down, right? I still turn around and look at me. How can I better me even more, right? Even though I'm watching what everybody doing, God still show me something. What can you be doing though? What is it that you can be doing? What is it that you're doing? Don't worry about none of all that. That's not your business. Ain't none of your business, right? My coach say you see too much. You see too much, right? Some things are just there for them to do it to you. That's it. You look like it is all alone out there, right? You just look so easy to hit and target. You just look like that person until God show them otherwise, right? We ain't here to prove who and what we are and what we is in spirit and what we ain't. That's not our job. Our job is to simply be. Let the people do what they gonna do, right? They want to set you up. Let them set you up. It's called a double-edged sword, right? A lot of people ain't even as smart as they think they are, right? Everything sounds good when you put it together. It's gonna crumble right in your face. And they're like, oh, this is real good. It's real good. It's real good right here. It's real good. It's real good. And they like, oh, when they do it, they like, damn, we did it. Now there's all this stuff out there showing that we did it. And even if it ain't, it didn't still turn out the way we thought. It just looked like a good idea, right? Y'all, this Move Station 99999999999 and 99 Station, right? This Move Broadway show. And so I'll be back. Whoops. Only if it's God's will. If I can do something else, y'all. Love y'all, and I'll see y'all later. Sleep easy, be easy, right? Don't worry about what they out there doing. Leave them to their own devices. All right. Love you guys. Bye bye. All right, y'all. I'm back on the 9999 Station, right? It's crazy, right? Because I'm scrolling through my little stuff right off, and I want to do me a little vacuum session, right? And anybody that know me, y'all know how I amp up God, right? And I amp up Jesus, Yeshua, and I amp up, my ancestors, my angels, right? I just amp them up, right? And how much I love them, right? And how much I am unbothered by people's tactics, basically, right? That you don't have fear, right? You show no fear, and nothing it is that you do, right? And it's crazy because I click on somebody and I just hear them talking about the love of God, right? The love of God is just like no other, right? I'm just listening to this. I'm like, where do the line be drawn, right? With this stuff, right? You can see the difference in people, right? It's nothing wrong with loving God, right? There's nothing wrong with talking about the love of God, right? I want people to talk about the love of God. We want people to talk about that, right? But you know when that's not a person's style and they're switching their style over time and trying to implement that into their stuff, right? As if that's them, and it's not, right? They might speak on certain things, right? They might talk about the Holy Spirit. They might talk about these little different things. They say it's like they work a little bit here and there, but you could tell when somebody is just overdoing it because you're doing it, right? And I always tell y'all that these people are put in place for the mess. They sit back, study, and watch you and say, what can I take out of that and implement it in minds and then overdo it, right? And so, anyways, right, it just took me back to, for some reason, as I'm talking about it, stop, Nola. I was vacuuming, right? And it took me back to Ezekiel. And it says, it took me back to 777, right? And I just started on that page. And it said the siege of Jerusalem symbolized, right? And then God's razor of judgment. And what was the other one? Doom for the mountain of Israel. But hold on, it's not that one. It's the one I'm looking for where it said, idolatry in the temple, judgment on the idolaters. It was talking about the false idols, right? These people that are saying that they're prophet and they're not prophets. They're false prophets, right? These people that don't know nothing about none of that, right? They're trying to take your way, your style, what you are, and implement it as if it's them, right? I always tell you, you can tell who's being used. You can tell who's being used. You can tell somebody in the background, they're jealous, and what they do is that they try to implement things that you do, and it comes off very subtle, right? It comes off very subtle. They try to take something of yours and make it into their own, right? So if you talk about God, they're going to over talk about God, right? If you talk about how God is, how His grace and His mercy, how He is loving, right? They will take that and they will twist it into their own tail at that point, right? Oh, I just love Him so much, and His grace and His mercy is so good, right? They just overdo it, right? But they don't understand about the true genuinity of that feeling of what that is, right? They haven't been through there, right? And another this girl on her stuff. I was on one of my videos I said about they be doing so much, you gotta cling on to Jesus' garment, right? And she on herself, you gotta cling on to Jesus' garment. You gotta do this, right? They overdo it, right? They let you know who exactly is doing what. Then, like I said, you got the other ones that's doing this and doing that, right? And so when I go to God and I speak to God, right, and this is for anybody out there, when you see people doing that, right, when you got these people that's in these platforms, in these positions, right, they already pushed up there, right, they are pushed up there because they pushed up there to do this type of stuff. They don't want nobody coming in and taking over. They don't want nobody coming in to be able to share their word. And so each one of them, they take something of yours, and I know for a fact I'm not the only one out there that have been through things like this, right, where they are taking and doing this and trying to bully you out of spot and then take something of yours, each person, and overuse it to make it theirs, right, overdo it, trying to bully you out of a place in space. And when they think they have gotten you out of there, right, then they will go back down to who they actually are, right? It dwindles back down to who they actually are. Well, I could take that and use that for myself, and then this could work for me, right? But one thing about it, when I told y'all about the Book of Psalms, right? You can trick everybody else around you, but you cannot trick God. You cannot trick the Most High God. When you read the Book of Psalms, and I say that you'll read certain things, right, and sing the praises of God, and you got those who eventually they say what's in their heart, right? How they really feel, what they really want to be done, right? Which there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm gonna tell y'all, never get caught in that twist of the tail, right? Never get caught in that. There's so many people that got out the game from that because some people don't know how to handle that. When you watching somebody do this type of stuff, right? When you watching certain things take place in front of your face, everybody can't handle that a certain way. So people might have got took out the game because they was able to corrupt your emotion, right? They was able to corrupt what they was doing to you, right? And so to make you look like you the bad guy, you the one who ain't right in the head. I told you, look, taunting, being taunting. But I'm here to tell y'all we are in a season where that stuff is over with. That stuff is over with. God is doing something with the people where He is taking the cloak and covers from over their head, taking the clothes from over their head. Whatever this thing is that these people can get away with, they will no longer be able to get away with it, right? And it's something about it, right? God is so good, right? It's something about it when He made them. It's something about when a person think that they won, right? God would let a person, I said nothing in my videos, God would let a person think that they have won, right? Just turn around and hit them with the ups, right? Because if you never think that person think that they won, right? They're gonna show their true selves, right? But never show who they really are, right? Did I get your content? Did I get her video taken out? Did I get her content taken out? Oh yeah, because she on here taking all of our stuff, implementing her stuff. Meanwhile, they hacking into your shit, using the person sitting right next to you doing that. I'm gonna say it again, right? It was a little girl in here. She said, I seen him take your tablet and stick it up under his shirt, right? Why would a person wait till you fall asleep to take your phone and your tablet, stick it under their shirt, and be snoozing emojis through your shit, right? But before this incident, right, I kept saying somebody's hacking into my stuff because I seen these women, right, implementing my work inside of their stuff, right? It's certain things that you say. Everybody, come on now, it's a coincidence. One is a coincidence. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Come on now. And these are people who sit next to you, they jealous, and they don't want you to get away from them either. And so it's like I want to help them out because I don't want you to leave me behind design shit neither because I didn't help people around you do this, and I did this on my own. You gotta stay here with me. You're gonna be not shit like me. I don't feel like nothing towards myself, and so I'm gonna do this to you. But they don't understand. I'm trying to tell y'all something. When y'all see it going down, you'll be surprised who sit right in your face that you was complaining to about what was taking place and how they was taking it back to the ops, right? You like, they don't even know each other. They don't even know that person. You be surprised what one is willing to do when you show your face, when you are the one in it too. And you be sitting up there telling that person, that friend, man, this going on maybe when it first started. And you like, I know that coincidence. You might say, hey, look at this real quick. Then when I talking about this yesterday, last night, and they up on their platform somebody today, but that's not it. There's 3 more up there doing it, right? But God forbid, how many other people that you don't even watch, right, who did that same thing, is doing the same thing, but you just don't know them, right? You just don't know them, but you don't know that this individual sitting in the house with you gave them access to all your stuff. They drop little, what you call those things, like little listening devices in between stuff, right? Then the little girl, she said, I seen him over there fiddling around and this and fiddling around for that. She said, I was wondering myself, why was he fiddling around inside stuff? And he was trying to put something inside here. This is an 11-year-old baby, y'all saying this. This 11-year-old baby saying this, right? And I said, damn, right? Coming at y'all. Then I was listening to this other guy, he was saying, Pluto, he said, you'll never know who's actually sitting right in your face sabotaging you, basically, right? And it sometimes takes you to get out of there, right? And look back to actually see just how deep and how jealous that person was of you, right? Just how much that person didn't want you to remove yourself and how they was actually the one that was sabotaging you the whole time, right? You looking over here because they're known sabotagers, right? The people behind you, the people over there, the people that's related to you, the this and that, right? They're known people who sabotage people. They're known for that. But the people who sitting right in your face, they're expected for you to figure out, right, that it was them too, right? And then we start calling them out. They start coming up with these elaborate plans and schemes. And you're like, damn, what the hell is this? What's that? What's that? Why is going on? Why is going on, right? And it just won't stop, right? Everybody doing stuff for their own self-righteous will and good, right? And God is calling us people to back up no matter what, right? We are just mere tools for the Most High to back up and let him have it because he gonna have them, right? To have and to hold. You understand? I'm trying to tell y'all something. So you ain't gotta worry about Nathan, right? And so y'all just want to say that, and I'll be back, but only if it's God's will. Okay. Yeah. Love you guys. Love you. Shut up, me.